missed those. But your first caller underway will be Andrew Underwood.
Yes, thanks, Darryl. It's going to be a very tight game of footy this afternoon. As the ball goes down, Crawshay in the ruck, the Arnold, Crawshay does particularly well, gets hands off to Costa, kicks forward quickly to an open forward line. Brogan leads in the chase of the ball. He's hotly pursued by his opponent in Michael Davey, and the ball stays inside, kicked out on the back to the centre of the ground, and David Morgan is going to take a mark right on 50 for the Panthers.
Yeah, well, David Morgan's taken the mark, and he'll go back and have the first shot on goal. And we've played just 30 seconds into this first quarter, and South Adelaide would dearly love a goal here to get themselves on the scoring board. Comes in, the drop punt's on its way. It's not going to make the distance. Can Brogan get up there and take a mark? He's in front, ducks the head, and it goes over the back of the pack and running into an open goal, and just getting his foot to it there was big Clint Draper, and just got it through for the first goal of the day to South Adelaide. They go to one straight goal. They lead Central's yet to score on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, and we played 1 minute courtesy of Dave Benson Caravan.
Well, in direct contrast to last week when South went forward, they peppered the goal before they kicked a sausage roll. In fact, I think Westies may have kicked the first goal, and I think that will be a great confidence booster for them.
Well, certainly, DB, but the interesting thing was that ball didn't travel very far at all.
Really, no, it didn't carry at all.
Kick.
Might have miskicked it, I think.
Back in the middle of the ground now. Crawshay is in ruck. The umpire puts it down. We won't mention his name, but Crawshay up against Arnold, and the ball gets knocked out in the direction of Morgan that was there, and they're fighting, and away they come. The Bulldogs working hard, and there is Holm. He gets it up forward, looking for Keenan Ford, who's running out hard and crashes into it. Good commitment there, and the Bulldogs go forward again up to half forward, or deep in the pocket. It is right on the outer side of the ground. Players wrestling and jostling. It's hard work getting it into the breeze there. South Adelaide players wrapped up. I thought it might have been on the shoulder, but the umpire says no, it's holding the ball.
Here we go. Last week we didn't get a holding the ball decision. This week we've got one in the first 30 seconds.
Don't mention that umpire's name because there could be trouble. The ball goes in forward, but it's turned over now, and South Adelaide come clear through Crawshay. He gets it out wide looking for Kimmy Costa, who's fighting hard. Bit of wrestling off the ball there, but the umpire doesn't see it that time, and away they come through. Hopwood, who just dribbles it along the ground and out of bounds, centre wing, grandstand side of the Noarlunga Oval.
That was Mark DeMacy, not Kimmy Costa.
And was being hung on to
He certainly was.
Yes, let's hope the umpires won't continue with that tack, because that was an interesting call, let us say. Boundary throw in now. Crawshay's at the front, forward over the back, comes to Hassel, gives it off to Dowdy, tackled high for mine, but the umpire calls play on. Kicked around forward where we got Talbot, I think it is, kicks forward to young Meekins, and he takes a mark in front of the back. He's a jockey. Smithy, you were that big when you were 12. Ball comes wide, beautiful smother by Lillico, and ball rushed out of bounds. A fantastic smother by Lillico, centre wing, grandstand side.
The intensity is a bit tough compared to last week, Corey.
Yeah, Lillico getting the pats on the backs from his teammates there, because it was very, very good work. Boundary umpire throws it in. The big fella's just jostling for position over the back. Crawshay gets a tap, comes down in the direction of Holm, who grabs, just commits himself beautifully, gets it over to Michael Stevens, who pumps it up forward, looking for one of the Gowans boys. Healy it is at the back there, but it does come down to Chrissy Gowans, and he gets it up forward, looking for the leading full forward, but nothing doing it. Kimmy Cobb chips it off beautifully and gets it up to half forward with a big raking long kick, but Nathan Turvey can't take the mark, and the Bulldogs present something now. Just getting a bit of drive through the middle. It ends up with Holm, who's in centre of the ground. He puts it up forward again, looking for an option there, but again the juggling mark can't be taken by Stevens. It was there, Daniel Stevens, but he couldn't do anything, and the ball's spilled free. The quick handball out from South Adelaide wasn't very effective, and it comes back to Holm. He's wrapped up as he tries to get a handball out, and the umpire says yes, he's thrown it, and free kick to South Adelaide, and they'll clear the defensive area.
Yes, Talbot clears the outer side. Hassel's got plenty of space, collects the ball now. He's has a bounce, getting a bit of support there by Dowdy. Comes back inside. His target was Morgan, but there's 2-on-1 in the Bulldogs' favour. Morgan does pretty well to get back inside there. He's going to get a kick here through Dowdy. Kicks forward. We've got a crummer and tackled well by Centrals, and the umpire comes in and he's going to ball it up right half forward, playing in front of the 5-hour page commentary team.
Ellen it was there that was getting wrapped up nicely. The umpire said, no, look, fellas, I'll have it in and we'll try and create something now. Quite a few players around the ball as the umpire puts it down. The big fellas jostle, a bit of a shove there on Brogan, but he comes back with the ball now, fumbles it out towards Doughty, and again, he is wrapped up by Hamish Tamlin and dumped into the ground. The umpire says, fellas, I'm a little bit cold. I'll warm myself up. I'll have another bounce. Thanks very much.
I'll give you this now. Shane Ellen, who does he look like? Have a think about it, and we'll name it at quarter time. I'll give you till quarter time to work it out.
There it is, the big fellas just setting themselves again. Plenty of wrestling going on. It's very close in tight. Comes out through Turvey, gets onto his left foot, up to Ellen, the man Smithy picks as a look-alike, but no one knows who he looks like.
Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld looking like.
Smithy's just gone for the biggest draw of all time, and he's clutched at it. But as it is, Jerry Seinfeld, as Smithy calls him, has the ball, 45-degree angle, will kick from right on 50.
He certainly will.
Where did you get that from?
Don't worry about it. He looks like him, I'm telling you. He comes in, drop punt on the way. The goal umpire hasn't moved an absolute muscle other than to put the two fingers up and say, that's all right, Jerry. That's his first goal. South Adelaide second. They go to 12 points leading the Central District side yet to score on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
The thing we do know is that Shane Allen can kick goals.
He certainly could.
And I had 10 million names go through my mind.
Jerry Seinfeld wasn't one. All I can say, Smithy, is I reckon you're starting to look like Kramer.
Yeah, well.
I had Kramer's problem and I just went down to the loo, I guess.
Jerry Seinfeld. Well, I've heard it all now.
Have a look at him. He looks like Jerry Seinfeld.
Goodness gracious. I'm sure Mrs. Allen won't be very happy with that. Back in the centre.
He wouldn't want his money, though.
Crawshay v Arnold. Beautiful start for the Panthers. Very contrasting to last week. Crawshay up now. Tap by Arnold, kicks forward, but it's crumbed well by Morgan. Hassel's in there. He can't clear it, and Jimmy Gowans gets one high for mine, but umpire says, no, it's okay this afternoon. Out towards Chris Gowans. Steadies now. Ball spills free and kicked forward towards by Slade. Cochrane it is, rather. And out to the outer side. There is McGowan in there. Tries to handball to do Hulme, and it's stolen by Clark. Hall rather. Dowdy gets the ball clear, kicks forward by the hands, and holding on for mine, Turvey. Umpire says again, play on, letting the play go. Costa's ball wide, tapped on now to DeMacy, who's got a bit of time. He's going to kick to the top of the square. His target's going to be Brogan. Number of plays up. The umpire says you were filled after disposal, and it's going to go down, shot in front of goal. Smithy Brogan's going to get one.
Yeah, Brogan's going to kick it for sure, but the free kick there, David Lillico came in and did push. I must admit, he did push Mark DeMacy in the back, but yeah, very, very soft for mine. But Dean Brogan's ended up with the goal, with the shot on goal, 35 metres out, directly in front, and the umpire says, yes again, there's the roar from the crowd. That's their third goal. Good start to South Adelaide. They go to 3 straight goals on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. Central's yet to score. We played 7 minutes, courtesy of Dave Benson Caravans.
I really do think the umpire messed up the rule then. I think that ball should have come back for the South player to kick it, because he was actually pushed as he kicked the ball.
Fair call, DB. Fair call. Ball should have come back, and he should have had a shot from outside 50 rather than going downfield.
I've got to say, South Adelaide are doing it a little bit better than they did last week. They're just getting it to the top of the square nicely. They're not getting caught in the scoreboard pocket. The scoreboard pocket was the one that really messed them up last week, the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard there. And they're keeping it this grandstand side, which is helpful for us and also helpful for them, because they're getting the effect on the scoreboard. Back in the middle of the ground now. The umpire puts it down. The big fellas try and go a little bit check side. It comes to Crawshay, cleverly done. Big handball out of the centre, looking for Meekins. He taps it on for a teammate to DeMacy, but nothing doing there. And Mills it is trying to get the ball out. He can't do it. The umpire's picked a free kick again, or it looked pretty hot to me. I'm not too sure, but the Central's boys rather won't complain, and Cochrane it is that has it. He gives it over to Stevens. Michael Type, I should say, rather. They kicks it out to centre wing. Players finding another free kick. I mean, you can hear the crowd roaring, and they're not really sure what's going on underneath.
No, James Gown's got the free kick. Not really sure what it was for, but he does kick it wide towards centre half forward. The target is home, but Hassel chips in there courageously, takes a body, and the ball's cleared by South Adelaide. Umpire, they're peeling for the mark, peeling for the free kick. Gowans gets it out to Stevens, comes back on the left foot, falls over. He's under the hammer, taps it towards Gowans again. Again, under a lot of pressure by DeMacy, caught high for mine. The umpire agrees. Free kick to DeMacy, right half back.
Well, I said last week the umpires weren't paying any frees. They've turned it completely around. They're paying them left, right and centre.
Yeah, unlucky there, the South Adelaide player. The player Stevens did actually slip there, and the tackle was high because of the slip, I think.
James Gowans it is that has the ball, but yeah, free kick count just 8 or almost 9 minutes into this game is incredibly high this early. The ball goes out wide now to the centre wing or half-back flank area for the Bulldogs, pumped up to half forward. Forward it is trying to hold his ground and create something. He can't take it, and the ball spills to ground, but the doggies are away through Ricky McGowan. Nice left foot chip up forward, looking for an option and a one-handed juggle. The umpire's paid it, because I thought the South Adelaide player had hands on it first.
He did.
And taking that mark is Daniel Stevens, but I could have sworn there was a South Adelaide hand on that.
Well, there was no remonstration from the South Adelaide players, so the umpire might have got that one right. Stevens lining up from around about 45 metres out, directly in front, ticking into what is about a 4 or 5 goal breeze at this stage. Comes in, the drop punt's on its way. He certainly made the distance quite easily, and the umpire, we wait for the umpires. Yes, he's put the 2 fingers up, and that's a goal to Central Districts. They're first. They trail South Adelaide 3 straight goals, 18 points. That's Central's first goal, 1 goal, 6 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
I think they were very lucky to get that because the South Adelaide defender put up his left hand. The ball hit his left hand first, and then the Central player claimed the mark. I just watched the replay, and unfortunately that's what happened.
I'm glad you saw it like me, DB.
Yes, good goal for the Doggies into this breeze, but South Adelaide has started beautifully.
Did you see the replay?
On the big screen scoreboard that's here at Noarlunga Oval.
Yes, beautiful big screen scoreboard. Arnold v Crochet. Again, Arnold over the top gets a tap forward. But Bello tried to shark it out the back to Turvey, who kicks a left foot towards the outer side. McGowan's there. He's supported by Cochrane. McGowan now, you'll think, will pick the ball up and does again handball well by McGowan over to Bello. It comes to the end. Comes back on the left foot, his favoured left foot, in towards centre forward, but ill-directed. Hall should have taken the mark but spilled it, but mops up pretty well. Kicks forward on his left. And again, down towards centre wing, number of players around the ball. Good support by Lilico. Play on umpire's call for a free kick. And Merton that comes forward, crashing through the pack, kicks it all the way forward. And a beautiful mark by Jerry Seinfeld.
There he is, big
Jerry Seinfeld's taken a beautiful mark, alias Shane Ellen.
I'm telling you, have a good close look at him. He looks like Jerry Seinfeld.
His opponent there in Quinton Graham really just got outplayed.
Yep.
Just held his ground, Jerry Seinfeld, and the ball set up. Quinton Graham jumped too early and fell straight into Shane Ellen's hands.
Well, Shane Ellen lining up for his second goal. Drop punt again on away, and this time he's actually dragged it a little bit to the right, but the umpire has said just snuck in for his second goal. South Adelaide now go to 4 straight goals. That's 24 points. They lead Central Districts 1 straight 6 points on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Fellas, I just want to ask, how many hundreds of thousands of dollars do you think Shane Ellen would need in surgical procedures to make him look like Jerry Seinfeld?
I'm telling you, have a good look at him.
More than we've got, I'm afraid. Look, I think South Adelaide are far more committed today than we saw last week. I just like their attack on the ball and their attack on the body, and it's having a huge effect on the result thus far in this football match.
Yeah, and they are playing the right side of the ground too, playing through the corridor or the grandstand side, as we said before, and that's seeming to help them out on the scoreboard because they're 4 goals straight, 24 to 1 goal straight for Central District, 6 points on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. Crochet again gets the tap in the middle of the ground down to Costa, but he's wrapped up pretty quickly by McGowan. 3 or 4 other players come in and just give each other a hug because it is quite chilly. Just warm each other up, and the umpire says, fellas, I'll bounce it again.
Very friendly of them, is it?
They are very friendly fellas. But it is very cold. Umpire puts it down again. The 2 big guys go at it. Crochet just tries to get it tapped out as he goes to ground, but nothing doing. There are feet and hands and everything else in there. And once again, they stacks on the mill, and the umpire says, boys, I'll do it again. The umpires aren't complaining about this because I think it's keeping them warm as well. Right back, smack bang in the centre of the ground.
Yes, Ronnie Betteridge comes in. He's going to throw the ball into the turn.
Don't mention his name.
Well, we haven't said anything bad about him, and he's doing a good job so far. Tap the favour of South Adelaide via Crochet. Ball comes out. DeMacy's first at it. Gets an attempted kick at the ball. There's a number of players around, and the umpire's going to umpire Ron Betteridge will come in and make the correct decision again.
You were oohing and ahhing there, DB. You thought the free kick was going to be about paid?
Well, it was very similar to the last one.
Yep.
We saw holding the pill.
Gee, it is very congested in there. The blokes are playing some tight footy early.
You watch him pull a free kick for me.
How many players in a 10-metre radius? I think there's at least 20, 25 players there. Backhander out from Crochet, but again it goes to ground. The players are in fighting. Dowdy has it, and he's wrapped up by a couple of Central District's defenders.
Interesting to note, last week would have had about, by this stage, the 13-minute mark of the first quarter would have had maybe 10 to 15 throw-ins on that outside.
Yep.
Yet to have one at this stage.
Yep, just playing the ground a little bit more cleverly today, the South Adelaide side. Comes down through Lilico now. He gets a hand pass over, and the Bulldogs are away. Just clearing the zone. They could get caught, but they don't. It's Hopwood gets the kick up and marked by James Gowan. James Gowan trying to break clear. He's called to play on now, and Johnny Hassel is giving him a real hard time. But he gets a kick out wide, and it is marked by Marco Bello. Marco Bello just trying to play on very quickly. Gets his left foot kick up the grandstand wing. A couple of players fighting for it in front. Someone almost has their head ripped off. But the umpire calls play on, and it comes out to Stevens. Michael Stevens, it is. Bombs one in long. It's a good-looking kick. Doesn't have the carry. No, it's juggled at the back. South Adelaide player claiming the mark, but it's not paid, and it's rushed through for a minor score.
That's Central's first point. 1 goal, 1-7. They trail South Adelaide 4 straight goals, 24 points on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Yes, ball's going to be brought back in by Peter Johnson. A lovely raking left foot. Kicks right down the middle of the ground, looking for Crochet. Crochet's behind, so he spoils. Holm tries to get the crumb. Comes clear to Mills. Turvey's at the back with a bit of space. He'll settle. He'll steady. He'll have one.
He'll go all the way.
2. He won't have 2. He decides to go for goal. Good-looking kick off right to the square. Draper attempts to mark. Comes back on the right foot, and he has a shot across the face of goals. Doesn't go through. And a Central's player is almost mounted. Cleared by Michael Davey. He goes to the outer side. Plays looking for his Cochrane, finds him back on the right foot. Target out wide is, I just can't see his name, I think it's Smithy, can you help us out there? It's
Daniel Healy.
Daniel Healy, thanks for that. Cleared to Merton, Talbot rather, and a number of players over the ball. Out wide to Cochrane, who's mopped up pretty well. Kicks forward to the outer side looking for Bello. The boundary line close. It's going to be kept in well by the old fella in Scotty Lee, who's out there. Kicked off the ground by Holm towards the right half forward flank. Ball stays in. Pretty messy, scrappy affair at the minute, but a kick forward to Arnold, who attempts to mark. Good spoil over the back of the pack. The South players looking for the boundary line, but the Central's teammate keep it in. McGowan it is who clears nice with the handball, kicks wide and finds his teammate in James Gowans.
They're away and running now, the Bulldogs, but beautifully dragged down there by Mills, I think it was, but he still manages to get his kick as far as McArdle. McArdle swings it round, goes deep into the pocket, which is probably not a good move because it has closed the face of goal, but the ball comes to the back of the pack and Centrals have got a few numbers there, but cleverly done by South Adelaide, and they clear the zone through. Hall goes out wide to Crawshay, who's got some space. He's looking to switch it inboard into the corridor, as they didn't do last week, but they are doing it this week, and unfortunately they've turned it over and it comes to Healy. Healy's little chip kick is picked off by South Adelaide, and Mills it is that mops up, and he comes out to the grandstand side, set of wing where Macy takes a clever diving chest mark in front of Lillico. There was a lot of pressure there on him, and he did that very, very, very well.
That's a candidate for the cattle crash mark of the day.
It is so far. Nice drop stuff looking for Brogan at half forward, but it comes to the back, and Arnold's there to mop up. He has some numbers and support in Rick McGowan, who just turns it around and comes back across to the grandstand side. Apologies, it's not Rick McGowan. The ball's with Hopwood now, and he just pushes it up the wing looking for one of the Gowans boys, and he takes a nice strong mark. I think it is James it is. They're away and running again the Central District side through Davey. Davey has his kick smothered beautifully. It was great work there from the South Adelaide defender into Macy. Just put the extra pressure on it. It is starting to work for the Panthers now. They're bottling it up and cleverly keeping it on this attacking side of the ground.
Yeah, good play by both sides there, really having a real red-hot go at this stage.
Actually, it was Central that brought the ball back on this grandstand side, which is a bit surprising.
Yes, we find that Crawshay is going to first have the ball. He taps it beautifully over towards Meekins, and the umpire has paid a free kick to Meekins for hanging on. Smithy picked it well. Just indiscriminate in the attack.
I should have been an umpire, you know?
Well, you should have been an umpire. You were pretty calm and casual in your attack at the ball.
Wouldn't that be great? We could sit up here and bag him.
Yes, Meekins kicks forward, and Brogan leads the chase for it, and he marks it well. Hands off to Hassel, kicks forward to that man, Ellen again, but over the back, it was Graham. Quinton Graham takes a good mark. Clears towards Ricky McGowan. He wants to feed it off. He certainly does to Cochrane. Cochrane's got a bit of space, kicks a tumbly punt towards the centre forward. Out the back of the back was Crawshay. He's worked back well. Nice little kick with the left. Over towards in Johnson, thanks DB. The balls are cleared at the back, and the South Adelaide are away. Ellen it is who's got a bit of space, kicks forward. Ill-directed, not quite over the back to his teammate in Brogan, and the ball's going to go out of bounds right in front of the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, where on the 17-minute mark, South 4 straight goals, 24, leading Centrals 1-1-7.
Corey, one thing that South Adelaide are doing this week they didn't do last week is actually leading straight up the field rather than leading out towards the pocket.
Yeah, even there, Dean Brogan got caught in the pocket as the ball was going to the boundary line. He's trying to fist it back into the corridor. But we are in front of the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, and the boundary umpire throws it in. Brogan wrestling with Radley Moller, who's just come onto the ground, I think, and the Central District side rather clears it through Hopwood. He gets it out to the grandstand, the outer side of the ground, but it can't find the boundary line. That's what he was searching for, and they haven't been able to do it. So South Adelaide are able to mop up the ball now with Hassel. He runs around on the right foot, goes to that corridor, looks for Dean Brogan to set himself, but it's punched away at the back. Comes down only as far as Dowdy. Brogan again in there, but his hand pass is picked off by McGowan, and Centrals now look to set up something else. Again, they switch it to the scoreboard side of the ground where it is a little bit safer, and they just take the safe option, and it is deep in their back pocket.
Yeah, it's deep in the back pocket. Michael Stevens got the ball. He elects to switch. Dangerous to Michael Davey. DeMacy's there. He spoils quite well. Draper's in support. DeMacy will probably get it back in a minute. Draper goes for DeMacy, but taps it out the back to Dowdy. Dowdy's ball smothered beautifully by Michael Davey. And whilst that was a pretty courageous sort of effort, Michael Davey did pretty well, Smithy, to get the ball out of bounds.
He certainly did. It was 3-1 there, and South Adelaide should have made something out of that. 3 players to 1. They should have actually had a scoring opportunity. Michael Davey did very, very well to battle on, and then eventually forced the throw in.
The error coming from Michael Stevens, switching it to this grandstand side, but the boundary throw in the forward pocket. Grandstand side, Johnny Hassel tries to crumb it, comes to Ricky McGowan. He sets Michael Stevens free now on the left foot, gets around the corner, but it's picked off, and a good mark there taken by Talbot.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Well, you can hear from my co-commentators, they aren't happy with it. It was very ticky-touch with a 25, no, going for 25 dB, you're not happy. Don't mention the umpire's name, my friend.
No, well, what happened there, Talbot took the mark and, look, he broke away, took 2 steps to his left, and the Central District player went to check that movement, and all of a sudden the umpire's pinged him 25.
Well, Talbot's actually played on and given a quick handball over there to Nathan Turvey. He's had a long shot at goal, but doesn't make it. 3 or 4 players there for Centrals. Comes out again to South Adelaide. South Adelaide with a hurried kick going very, very high. And the player there who kicked the ball was Costa, but it's gone through for a minor score. South Adelaide's first minor score, and it's 4 goals, 125. They lead Centrals 1-1-7. We'll go back to the studio to get scores from all around the grounds.
Norwood 4-2-26, lead Glenelg 3-2-20, Eagles 2-1-13, lead Port 1-3-9, Hawthorn 8-2-50, lead Adelaide 4-9-33, and we've got also Sydney 7-4-46, leading Richmond 3-6-24. Those scores thanks to Michelle's patisserie at Mitcham. Back to Noarlunga.
Well, the ball's been kicked in by Stevens for Centrals, and it's been picked off very well by the big ruckman for South Adelaide in Crawshay, right in front of the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. He's going to have a shot from around about 45 metres out. And it's going to be a hard kick from that angle, but the wind is favouring him. Comes in, the drop punt's on its way. It's looking pretty good too. The umpire's getting right underneath it, but it's gone just a little to the left, has it? No, it has. It's gone straight through for a goal. Fantastic goal there to South Adelaide. Great there to Crawshay too to pick that ball off. They now go to 5 goals, 1-31. Central District's 1 goal, 1-7, and a great start, DB, to South Adelaide.
Yeah, they'd be pretty happy with this at this point in time. There'll be a little bit of time on, probably not as much as last week when the ball kept going out of bounds, but what the mistake that Stevens made when he kicked out, then he kicked the ball high and the breeze held it up, and that allowed Crawshay to come over the back and grab it. Yes,
Crawshay, DB, is covering a fair bit of ground and doing a pretty good job. Moller on the ball gets a tap forward. Bello sharks it and tries to kick it off the ground, but Mills does pretty well. Tap forward now by South Adelaide, but out the back it's been mopped up again by Gowans. He's getting plenty of the footy this first quarter. Again, that man Crawshay getting plenty of the footy as well. Kick forward for the Hall into the zone. Draper's underneath the ball and cleared by Graham. Hands go via the number of Centrals players out to Lilico, and the umpire will come in, you would think. Careful, here we go. The umpire, he's not really sure what he's going to do. I thought, Smithy, there was going to be a free kick awarded for holding the ball, and a bit of a wrestle on here, and the umpire will come in and ball it up right in front of the 5RPH commentary team.
It is pretty tight in close, that's for sure, and the players are getting a little bit willing at the moment. There could have been a free kick there. The umpire just choosing to take the easier option and not playing one, but he puts it down now. It comes out to Hassel. Hassel just working hard. He's wrapped up as soon as he gets it. The umpire now blows the whistle.
Oh, dear! Now I've seen everything.
I didn't want to say it, but I thought that was coming. And it's made 25 as well.
Oh, goodness.
Well, boys, I don't know. The umpire's having words with Johnny Hassel now. He just said, mate, you're just getting a little bit too physical. And, he's giving him another one, I think, because he's had a word to him. So the umpire's given 2 penalties against Johnny Hassel.
That is weak character by any person to do that. That is so weak, it's not even worth talking about.
Who are you talking about, the umpire or
the umpire? That is weak.
Oh, hello.
Not mentioning any names. We don't know which one it was.
Nathan Turvey came
He's gone again. He's given him another one. He's given another one. That's the third one. The third 25.
Oh, that is so weak. You're either a man or a mouse there, Nick.
3. Yes. Well, 3 25-metre penalties there. He's gone from the forward pocket up to the forward pocket for Central District.
And Michael Stevens has turned the ball over and made an error and kicked it straight to Dean Talbot, who I suppose that's some sort of poetic justice that the South Adelaide are going to get the ball back. Here, right in their back pocket.
Johnny Hassel just having a spell for that, and Fred Gold coming on, so I'm sure Greg Anderson will have a word with him.
Yes, well, we're not really sure what went on there, but the ball comes from Talbot.
He gave him a serve, but I mean, it doesn't constitute 3 25-metre penalties.
Yes, Meekins now has got the ball in the back pocket again, just steadying things up. Kicks forward to his target is Brogan, who slips trying to take the ball. Gowans gets it off to Bello. He's tackled by a number of players and tries to break them. Free kick fine if the other one was there. The player now in Merton, who clears the ball. Standing still is Crawshay, and the 3 or 4 players. Back to Merton, who was on the overlap, who did really well. Ball's running clear, and Cochrane mops up the back of the pack, but smothered beautifully by Turvey, and he gets an awkward bounce. Costa's there, looking for a player in support, finds Ellen, who's got a bit of a yard now. He's going to kick to the top of the square. His target is Draper. Can he take the mark? It's 2-on-1. No, he can't. The ball spills free, and we're going to have a boundary throw in right forward pocket.
One thing that South Adelaide really do need to now is to refocus on their game. They can't let that 75-metre penalty worry them. They've got to now really do score.
Yeah, it's always a concern when the umpires start doing that. The players start getting frustrated and things can happen. Let's hope it doesn't here at the Noarlunga Oval today. The boundary umpire throws it in alongside the right point post in the forward pocket. Snap by De Macy over his shoulder, trying to create something, but it's fisted away cleverly there by Hicks in defence. Kimmy Costa has put on a good shepherd to let Draper go clear. He gets the ball back to Mills. Mills has the shot on goal, and it is a good one. That's his first lovely goal from Trent Mills. They did exactly what Smithy asked. They refocused there and put their 6th goal on the scoreboard. They move along to 6-1-37, leading Central's 1-1-7, playing some good committed footy. Crawshay in particular on top in the ruck.
Crawshay's been fantastic, but a great shepherd there by Kim Costa too.
Yes, he certainly did stop the Central District player dead in his tracks on that occasion. But I tell you what, Greg Anderson certainly got this side fired up today. They've hit the ground a much different side than we saw last week.
Yes, Hassel coming back on the ground and Threadgold's coming off. Obviously just had a chat to Ando on the phone.
I can just see Johnny Hassel was a real big bright shade of red, and I reckon he's pretty pumped up.
Moller over the top, but down towards Gowans are too high, but the umpire calls play on. McGowan's underneath the pack, and the umpire now comes in and balls it up. Again, we're almost on quarter time on the Dave Benson Caravan time clock. We just ticked over 25 minutes, and it's been a good quarter by South Adelaide, 6-1-37. Certainly a contrast to last week's score. They had 17 shots at goal in the first quarter. Moller back in the ruck v Crawshay. Crawshay's rucked the whole first quarter to date. Kick forward, and again Hassel straight in there after his bit of a bait from the coach. Dowdy gets the ball clear, across to crash through. Not effective. Moller for mine throw. The umpire and all the crowd here have called for a throw. Out towards Stevens, he's going to clear for Central. Kicks wide looking for McGowan, but over the back Hall, he doesn't quite get there, and Morgan wraps it up. Gets the ball clear now. Good handball by Healy. Over to Hamlin, who's got a bit of space. Kicks towards centre forward. Target underneath it is Lilico, or Ford rather. Helms at the front of the back, sharks it quite well. Can't get it clear, and Talbot's going to clear towards the boundary line, looking for safety, as a good backman does. And he does reach the boundary line. Centre wing on grandstand side, 26-minute mark gone on the Dave Benson Caravan time clock.
Yeah, good play by South Adelaide there. Good defensive play. Didn't panic. Went straight to the boundary line, and as we know, the boundary line's your friend when you're in defence.
Moller and Crawshay in the ruck. Moller looking to do a big job because Crawshay's had a fantastic start. He sets himself again, just a nice clever tap down, a quick kick around the corner by South Adelaide along the boundary line. The ball does beat De Macy and Lilico over the boundary line. Just want to harp back to Crawshay. Really is having a great first quarter. This is stepped through the middle there a few moments ago. He just stepped through 4 or 5 players. Looked like he was 5'6", not 6'6". He was just brilliant. But again, the boundary line throw in right in front of the 5 RPH commentary box.
Further proof that size isn't everything.
The big fellas go at it again. Muller just fighting for front position, gets a tap down as far as Rick McGowan, but the players in fighting. It's being played very physically, very tight, very in close this game. Comes back to Hassel, he gets it over the top, looking for a runner in Hall. Hall on his left foot, gets it in forward, looking for Draper. Draper trying to body his opponent, and hits it. The ball spills free, bounces back into the goal. Draper gets a toe to it, that's true, that's his second. Clever footy, just both players fighting in the goal square. It bounced back in Draper's favour, got his toe to the ball right through the middle. That is South Adelaide 7. They move along to 7-1-43, leading Central District's 1-1-7.
Again, great play by South Adelaide. They stay focused on the ball. The ball looked like Clint Draper didn't give the ball up once. He made sure that he was still watching the ball. The ball came to the ground, and DB socked the ball through for a goal.
Yeah, but really Damien Hicks was probably a little bit unlucky. He did everything right. He bodied his opponent out. The only thing he didn't do was hold onto the footy.
You make your own luck though, don't you? You make your own luck in footy.
Back in the centre, right, almost on quarter time. Moller's up against that man Crawshay, who's got plenty of the footy. Out towards Gowans, and Jimmy Gowans, he's got plenty of it as well. Kicks towards the outer side. Number of players out there. Holm is the target. He's been hotly pursued by Hall, who does pretty well. Holm does get the ball back. Number of players around it. Keenan Ford mops up pretty well, kicks forward, and his target is the other Gowans brother. Healy's there, and the handball's away. Number of players there. Merton, one of them, and ball does find clear. Ford it is who comes clear with it. I don't know how he actually got that. And blow me down, he's kicked one against the tide. Beautiful goal by the Doggies. Ford's first, Central second on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. 2-1-13 to the Doggies. 8 trays south, 7-1-43. And courtesy of Michelle's Patisserie, let's check scores from around the grounds.
Hawthorn 9-3-57, lead Adelaide 4-9-33, Sydney 7-5-47, lead Richmond 6-6-42, Norwood 5-3-33, lead Glenelg 5-2-32, Port 3-3-21, leading the Eagles 2-3-15. Those scores thanks to Michelle's Patisserie at Tea Tree Plaza. Back to Noarlunga.
Back in the middle of the ground in a battle of the beanstalks. Moller comes over the top, almost infringes on Crawshay, but it comes down to Copper, and he gets a kick out to the outer side. Almost, I said, because the free kick wasn't paid. Fighting in now, the Central players. Holm gets a kick out, and Dowdy chips it off and gets a grubber kick around the boundary line on centre wing, grandstand side, and the siren sounds to end the first quarter. Ando storms onto the ground, picks it up and gets a kick, and looks to throw it back to the umpire nice and friendly like, or maybe even a little bit harder than that. South Adelaide 7-1-43, leading Central's 2-1-13 on the top.
Okay, umpire holds the ball aloft to start the second quarter. If you've just tuned in, South Adelaide with the breeze in the first quarter. They lead 7-1-43, the Doggies 2-1-13. Away goes Hassel, a handball over the top to Turvey, onto the left boot, and out it comes to centre wing on the grandstand side. Players are going in hard for the ball. Meekins is there with Stevens, Michael Stevens. Meekins picks it up, tries to handball over the top, looking for Mills. Mills has got the ball in front of him. Central Districts are working hard, but finally Mills taps it over the boundary line for a throw-in between centre wing and the half forward flank for the Panthers.
Yep, Crawshay going in ruck again, up against Muller.
Brogan's in there, I think.
Oh, Brogan is in there, so where is Crawshay's go back here? Yes, he's dropped back. So Brogan in. Muller has actually made the front position, but Brogan did get the tap down. 3 or 4 plays in there. Well picked up there by Costa. Was it? He's been tackled, and the umpire, Ronnie Bettridge, has no other option but to come in and throw the ball down.
Exceptionally tight in close. A lot of players playing in close, and it'll be the team that can get on top in there, I think, that will start getting the more avenues to goal.
Well, the umpire actually threw the ball up this time. Brogan would have been used to that, being a basketball. It comes out again to South Adelaide. The player there with the ball this time is Johnny Hassel. He gets tackled over the line, and the umpire's throwing the ball in. Between half forward and wing, grandstand side here at the Noarlunga Oval, and it's 43 plays 13, South Adelaide in front, and that's on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Umpire about to dispatch the ball back into play. Big men do battle, Moller and Brogan. Brogan front position, takes the ball with 2 hands, then handballs over his head, taken by Hassel. He's dragged to the ground, the ball spills loose.
Oh!
The umpire says holding the ball.
Yeah, no, I reckon that's fair. I mean, he did have an opportunity to get rid of the ball. No, he had an opportunity.
That's very, very hot.
Well, long as they're fair with it, as long as they do it for both sides.
Won't happen.
Bettridge v Hassel again.
They're kicked now by the Doggies up towards half forward. Off hands, the ball spills out here. A chance now for Steele if he can pick it up. He's very slow but gets a handball. Puts Morgan under enormous pressure. He actually threw the ball out. Tamlin ended up the foot. He came to Ford. Ford tapped it on, but away comes Steele again. The handball back this time to Talbot. Talbot gives it. The umpire has called a throw, and it looked like a pending of handball to me. And honestly, I don't know what's happened in the space of a week. We couldn't get any decision from the umpires last week. Today they're playing them as though they're going out of fashion.
Well, Ronnie Bettridge is absolutely crucifying South Adelaide at this stage. There was no way that was a throw. Again, he was on the blind side of the play, and has given away a free kick, and the player with the ball there is Healy. He's had a long bomb-minute goal, and over the top there has been a punch through for a minor score. South Adelaide 7 goals, 1-43. They lead Central's 2 goals to 14.
Well, look, I think, guys, that the umpire in question has made errors this afternoon, and that's not defamatory, that's just pure fact.
Yeah, I agree with you. Big mistakes.
Well, the thing was, it happened right in front of us, and it was just a clean handball. But once again, the umpire in the blind spot as the ball is kicked out by Johnson for the Panthers, out to the scoreboard side, which is the outer side. And it looks like Talbot in front and takes the mark. Umpire bringing the player back on the mark. And it's one of the Gowns, in fact, Jimmy Gowns. And the kick now to be taken right in front of the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard by Dean Talbot. South Adelaide leading on the scoreboard, 7-1-43. The Doggies 2-2-14 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. The kick is a wobbly old kick. In fact, holds up in the breeze. Healy's there for the Dogs and takes the mark. He's got a Guernsey loose in the centre of the ground, and that's Tamlin, I think it is, who brings it on the boot up towards the centre half forward position from behind the Panther defence. Tucks it away, comes to Mills. Mills onto the boot, bangs it out towards that defensive outer side ground. Taken there beautifully by the big bloke in Crawshay, gets it over to Hassel. Hassel's kick who goes bang onto the lead.
Beautiful kick.
Beautiful pass, and Damassi's got it centre wing outer side.
Yeah, Damassi on the outer side there. Again, his kick was smothered, but chipping in there was forward for the Doggies. He gets it over to Muller. Muller with a long drop punt up to looking forward to McArdle, and McArdle goes to ground but does hold the ball and take it on his chest. McArdle been disappointing the last 4 or 5 weeks, not kicking a lot of goals, and they really do need McArdle to fire up forward if they are going to have any chance of winning this game. He's marked the ball 45 metres out, directly in front, aided by the breeze.
Yes, McArdle always presents himself, doesn't he? And he's not overly tall for a full forward, but moves quite well, always moves into the spaces, and a very handy young player. Let's not put the mockers on him though, because he's 45 metres out, gets up and under the ball. It is going to carry the distance, but the accuracy's not there. And away to the right-hand side. Centrals 2-3-15 trail South Adelaide Panthers 7-1-43 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Well, Kim Cobb to bring the ball back in for the Panthers. Again, elects to go to that outer side of the ground here where they did spend a lot of time last week. They must have learnt from that. Over the back there was Holm, who actually crashed the pack, and 3 or 4 players on top of the ball. And the umpire says, give it to me, boys.
99.9% of the time, actually I'll go on the limb, 100% of the time South Adelaide will go to that side of the ground. They're playing to instructions. They did it well in the first quarter, and that's the instruction this quarter, stick to that side, far side of the ground.
Crochet again with a tap. This time he finds a Centrals player. A quick kick in by McGowan coming up forward, and over the back there is the big fella for South Adelaide doing very well in Johnson. He gets to the outer side ground. Hassel gets it back inboard to Costa. Costa over to Crochet with the quick hands. Again smothered by Muller, doing very well. Centrals just keep pushing the ball forward. Can anybody pick it up? Yes, they can. That's the South Adelaide player there in Doherty. He gets a handball over to Hassel. Hassel with a quick kick up forward. Doesn't find anyone bar McGowan. McGowan looks inboard. Too high though, and the big fella in Johnson does take the mark. And this time the umpire has got the call correct. He did play on there with Johnson, and a great tackle there by Marco Bello to get a free kick, holding the ball 40 metres out directly in front, and too little talking there by the South Adelaide players.
Yes, had plenty of time, and Bello laid a good tackle, and on that occasion I agree with Ron Bettridge, who made the correct decision, and Bello comes in and goes, thank you very much, lines straight through his first goal. Central's third on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, 3-3-21, trailing South 7-1-43. Just a mistake by Johnson, who, again, lack of talking by his teammates.
He has been very good, Johnson. I think the problem was he took the mark. He looked to come this grandstand side. He paused for a half a second and thought, I'm going the wrong side. I should be going back the other way. By then, bang, too late. Marco Bello had wrapped him up, and he was gone holding the ball.
Umpire back in the centre of the ground now. Crochet up against Muller. Hassel in there for South. Costa also in there. Bello in there for Central Districts. McGowan also in there. Umpire bounces the ball again. Crochet with a jump early, but it comes down to McGowan. McGowan with a high kick to centre half forward, and there's 3 or 4 players there, but judging at the best, and a good mark there is one of the Gowans boys. Chrissy Gowans, good chest mark there, right in front of his teammate, his opponent, sorry, and that was Philip Merton. Probably could have spoiled that, but Gowans using his body very well, taking a mark, will kick from around about 45 metres directly in front.
Yes, Jimmy Gowans was getting plenty of the footy in the first quarter, and Chrissy wasn't too shy as well. He's a goal kicker, Chris Gowans. He comes in now, distance not a problem, but he's pulled it away to the left. He shanked it off the tee and whacked it straight.
He's put the mocker on him, hasn't he? He's a goal kicker.
Well, he's a goal kicker. He's always kicked a lot of goals for the club, and he's very handy, but he pulled it away to the left, and he registers his first behind Central's 3-5-22, trailing the Panthers 7-1-43.
Yeah, the doggies doing what the Panthers did last week, missing opportunities in front of goal. Now the umpire...
Hang on, Ronnie better hurry up here.
Turvey to hurry up, and the kick is a shocker. He put him under pressure, the umpy, but luckily for the Panthers it dropped into the arms of Kim Costa, and he gets the handball over to Merton. Merton on the right boot, up towards centre wing. In front, the player there was Healy. Bends down, picks up the ball, comes away with it, a handball. He gets good support here from Talbot, and bangs it up towards the centre half forward position at the back, though. Good strong mark there taken for South Adelaide by Draper.
Draper, yep, pulling loose in defence, I think.
He bangs it up towards the out towards the half-back flank, and over the boundary line it goes for a throw-in.
Certainly a good ploy there by Greg Anderson, coach, to bring Draper back on McCardle, because the extra height match-up, and we know that Centrals will kick the ball in long.
Johnson off, Stagg on too. Maybe to have a bit of a chat with the coach about that last indiscretion.
Right, the boundary throw-in, I may call Talbot before. It was actually Tamlin, of course, for the doggies. They got the kick away, the throw-in. Who's first there? Merton got it, pulled off the ball. The umpire says that's okay, as it goes back towards the outhouse out there on the outer side of the ground for a throw-in.
Good ploy by South Adelaide DB to keep the ball on that outer side of the ground. They've obviously learnt from last week, and would have been well drilled during the week as where not to take it in the forward line, but where to go to in defence.
Yes, and the boundary umpire throws it in again. Big men do battle. Big Molly got the tap down to one of the Gowns. Not sure which one it was. It's a handball, comes out. This is James Gown. Gets it over to their captain there in Holm. And Holm up towards the centre half forward position, and Cochrane comes in to take the mark, and he'll shoot for goal only about 40 metres out directly in front.
Well, a good young player, DB, isn't he? He got plenty of the footy in his in the first quarter. His first game, young Richard Cochrane, and he's all of 19 years old and 174 centimetres, so he's not overly tall, but he did get quite a bit of the footy, so he's coming in and he's going to have his first shot at goal, And one would hope for his sake and for the doggies that he puts it through. Shouldn't be any problem with the distance. And again, accuracy, but he's pulled it away to the left. And we put the mockers on him because, again, that's the second or third occasion where they pulled it away to the left, Corey.
That was exactly what South Adelaide did, kicking with that breeze last week. So it must be a little bit tricky. It must just have that swirl on it. And what the mistake Centrals have made here, South made that in the first quarter last weekend. So interesting.
Doherty to bring the ball back in this time, goes straight up to the ground and misses his targets. And McGowan's in there for Centrals, gets it over to Bello. Bello is tackled high. Even though he was ducking his head, did get hit high and will receive a free kick.
I'll call that one fortunate. I reckon that was fortunate.
Yes, again, it was actually Turvey who brought the ball in, and his skills have been a little off in the last few weeks. Normally silky smooth with his disposal, made a mess of it and put his teammate under the pump. As we see Marco Bello coming lining up for his second. He did get one high, comes in with that left foot, and the umpire has not moved a whisker. He's put it straight through the middle. His second, Central's fourth. 4-5-29 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. They trail South 7-1-43. And have we got a report there, boys?
Kimmy Costa has been reported. The blokes are wrestling. I just caught it when there were a few blokes wrestling in there. It was a couple of the Gowans boys, and Holm was in there as well. And Kimmy Costa's just had his number taken, so I can't quite pick up what the report was for, but he's paying the free kick as well on the half-forward flank.
DB,
the half-forward flanks of the report, and the free kick is going to Central Districts.
DB, it looks like Gowans it is actually. Jimmy Gowans actually got a smack in the gob as well.
Yes, he definitely. I actually saw that from Kimmy Costa, I think it was. And unfortunately, the umpire was looking. You've got to be unlucky, don't you?
Well, you do. Well, he's brought the ball back out to the grandstand side there. Has found his teammate there in Hopwood. Hopwood goes in short, and he looks upfield and finds Daniel Stevens, who will kick from around about 50. And one must suggest that, gee whiz, Centrals have had the fair run from the umpiring at this stage.
Yes, so
I don't want to say too much, but when that frustration creeps in, this sort of thing happens.
Right.
I said that before, and I think some blokes have to have a look at themselves.
Daniel Stevens has got one already, lines up for his second, pushes it away to the right-hand side. He's normally a better shot at goal than that, off the side of the boot. And as we sort of collect our thoughts, if you like, we look at the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, 4-6-30, South 7-1-43. It's an interesting game of footy.
As we collect our thoughts, as we calm down, I reckon the umpires are losing the pot a little bit.
Turvey to bring the ball back in, goes to the outer side of the ground, right in front of the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, and has kicked it out of bounds on the full. So Centrals will receive the free kick here. No disputing that one. That one did go out of bounds on the full. The player there with the ball is
Stevens.
Stevens comes in, lines it up, goes into the top of the square. Can anyone take the mark? Bellows over the back. He can't take it. So is Hamlin there. Comes out to Healy. Healy picks it up, gives a handball over this time, and to the player there who fumbles it right on the boundary line is Chrissy Gowans, and the ball goes out of bounds deep in the forward pockets. And as someone in the crowd yells out, DB, he heard footsteps.
DB, I just want to ask you, the umpires have been brave and played some funny free kicks, I'll say. Will they pay them in the last quarter? Will they have the courage to pay them then?
Well, that always happens in the last quarter, doesn't it? The handball comes out to Jimmy Gowans. He centres the ball to the head of the square. The big pack fly. Oh, South Adelaide player went up with one hand. It emerged to Hassel. He gave it to Talbot. Talbot with a look-away handball was very clever to Hall. Hall onto the left boot, but it's all Central District. As coming in to take the mark for the Dogs is Stevens. Michael Stevens now, he's half forward. Long way from goal though, he'd be about 80 metres of shocking kick off the boot, wobbles up towards full forward. If anybody had hung on to that, it would have been a miracle. Crochet taps it on, Mills puts his head down and actually ran into the legs of a Central District player as the ball goes to ground. The umpire hovering around, I hate that when they hover around like that.
It's like a seagull, isn't it, waiting for that piece of meat to drop or that chip to drop out.
Yeah, and he's this time called for a bounce at 10.5 forward. So Big Moller in opposition to Crochet. Moller, no player can get the tap away. Comes to Mills, who throws it on the right boot. Away comes Tamlin, is it? Bangs the ball back up to, might have been Hopwood, up towards full forward. Off hands it comes towards the boundary line. First there is Holm, but he can't beat the ball. The ball beats him over the boundary line for a throw-in.
You notice Greg Anderson, boys, stalking the boundary line, and it's quite interesting that a coach is actually sitting on the bench.
It is. No, last week he was sitting up here next to us and must have got sick of Corey's words of wisdom to him all day. Crochet up against Keenan Ford, but Crochet gets it down to Sneed. Sneed with a hurried kick looking for the boundary line. Can he find it? No, he can't. And there's a bit of action going off the field, off the ball. The Macy from South Adelaide is in there and he's been tackled and the umpire's going to throw the ball up.
Holmes just popped one on Steele's chin.
Is that right?
Blow for blow. I had a couple of words and Holmes just whacked one on his chin. The umpire didn't see that one though.
Well, Crochet again right in front of the 5 RPH commentary team, up against Muller. Crochet makes front spot, does get the ball down to Mills. Mills with a hurried kick back, but that's the trouble when you're playing one loose in defence. It means that Centrals have one loose at the back as well, and the Centrals player does mark the ball, goes in long, looking for a big mark. Can anyone take it? Over the back there is the Centrals player, but in front is the big fella in Kim Cobb, doing it very, very well. Good, strong mark. Instructions to go to the outer side of the ground, but doesn't. It goes in short to Hassel. Hassel doesn't take the mark. Comes out to Bello. Bello hits another handball over to Healy. Healy with a high kick going towards goal. Can this one go through? It can, for a minor score. Centrals 4 goals, 7:31. They trail. South 7 goals, 1:43 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. And we've played 15 minutes, courtesy of Dave Benson Caravans, and Kim Cobb is going to be the player to bring the ball back in.
Yeah, just 2 straight kicks the difference now. 12 points now as Kim Cobb with a left footer to that half-back flag at the back. It looked like a Central player had his name on the ball, but he missed the mark as it comes to ground. A chance here for Meekins. He couldn't get the handball away. Kicked off the ground. Bello Shepherds and allows McGowans, Jimmy Gowans, I think, to tap the ball over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Yes, and that last contest where the ball was kicked in high to Hassel, 2 Centrals players, Moller and Jimmy Gowans, collided, and Jimmy Gowans is worse for where it looks like he's got a corky or a knock to the knee. He's off the ground, and the old fella in Scotty Lee
have a look at him just lurking down there.
Right, the throw-in, I should say. There was a golden opportunity for the Doggies, but overrunning the ball there was Davey as the handball goes back out towards the boundary line for yet another throw-in right in front of the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Well, good game here so far. 12-point ball game in favour of the Panthers.
Smithy, Michael Stevens lurking loose in defence, as we said, for the Bulldogs. I've got another lookalike for you. Who does he look like?
I'll have to find out in a minute.
Not sure about that one. As the ball is thrown in, taken by Healy. They drag him to the ground, and there'll be a bounce down right in front of the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
He doesn't look like his brother Anthony on you.
Talk about 3,000 questions. Umpire with the bounce down on that left half forward flank, only about 40 metres away, 45 metres away from the Doggies' goal. They trailed by 12 points and they're kicking with the breeze. The handball came out, tapped on by Mills, back over the boundary line for a throw-in. So we're going to get plenty of time on in this quarter. The number of times the ball has gone out of bounds on that outer side, and the boundary umpire to throw it in. Smithy, see if he can get it out of there.
Smithy must admit that was better than your Jerry Seinfeld one.
Well, fair enough. I was very, very clever. Anyway, Crochet in again. Over the back there for Centrals was Healy. He taps the ball forward again. Kim Cobb is in there for the Panthers. He gets a hurry kick, and it goes sails out of bounds. Not on the full, but does find some good yardage, and again holding up the play for the Doggies. The boundary throw in on the outer side here, around about the 50-metre mark. 12-point ball game in favour of the Panthers. The umpire throws the ball in. Crochet again makes front spot, does get, he's had any number of taps as Crochet, been South Adelaide's best player by a mile. Comes back to Meekins, is it? He gets a hurried kick up to the wing. Good, clever play there, tapped on, but couldn't find the player, and it was tapped on there by DeMacy, and the ball has actually gone out of bounds. Centre wing, outer side here at Noarlunga Oval. Good, better Bosch football on 5 RPH. Crochet up against Muller again. Crochet behind this time, but again, this time Muller does get the ball out. 3 or 4 players in there. The handball out from South Adelaide doesn't find anyone in particular, and there's 3 or 4 players around the ball. The umpire has no other hesitation but to come in and bounce the ball. South Adelaide yet to score in this quarter, and Centrals have added a couple of goals. But, gee whiz, I want to get a few more at this stage. Crochet up against Muller again. The ball's thrown down. It comes out to South Adelaide again. They get a hurried kick up forward. Central's doing it very, very well with a pick-up. Comes to the centre-half forward, the true centre-half forward position. Keenan Ford leading in the race to the ball. He can't take it, but South Adelaide through Turvey. He can. He runs off with the ball, gives it over to DeMacy. Not DeMacy, Hassel it is. Hassel has been tackled.
Oh, he is not like Johnny Hassel at all.
Well, he mustn't.
He's after him.
He certainly has been. Everyone that's every time he's gone near the ball, it's been a free kick against him.
Was a poor handball, though, I thought.
Was a poor handball. The ball has gone up to centre-half forward. Sam McCull in there. He can't take the ball. A quick kick out by South Adelaide comes to the grandstand side. Kimmy Costa does a good shepherd there and allows his teammate in Turvey to get the ball over there to his teammate in Talbot. Talbot with a quick kick up to centre wing. Tries to find Brogan. Finds that player. Comes back to Brogan from a smother. Comes back to Costa with a good handball. Hassel gets it from Costa. This time he's gone backward and forward. Ducked his head
ball
that
again.
time. And
Ball
it's going to be ball again. I would think that Greg Anderson might have to make a change there, because every time that Johnny Hassel has got near the ball, he's been caught a couple of times. And Lillico's got the ball for the the Doggies. He goes inboard, right in the smack bang in the centre of the ground, has found Radley Muller. He goes in short. He finds his teammate too in Hamblin. Haven't gained a lot of yardage though. Hamblin around just about 5 metres shy of the centre of the square. Comes in with a long kick to centre half forward. 3 players back there for South Adelaide. Crawshay does punch the ball over. Leading the race of the ball is the veteran in Scotty Lee. He's got time to turn around, straighten up onto his right foot and bunch it straight through for Central District's 5th goal. They go to 5 goals, 7:36. They trail Central 7 goals, 1:43 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. Good play there by Scotty Lee, the veteran, to kick his first goal. Courtesy of Michelle's Patisserie. We'll go back to the studio and check scores from all around the grounds.
Eagles 6-3-39, lead Port 3-3-21. Glenelg 8-4-52, lead Norwood 7-3-45. Hawthorn 10-4-64, lead Adelaide 5-10-40. Sydney 8-8-56, lead Richmond 6-7-43. Those scores thanks to Michelle's Patisserie at Colonnades. Back to Noarlunga.
Back here at Noarlunga, goal to Scotty Lee, just 6 points the difference. I thought big Simon Crawshay should have marked that ball that came in. He went the other option of thumping it away. He was at the back of the pack, but he certainly had his name written all over the ball. As the bounce goes down, Crawshay with a left-handed tap. Morgan first there, and attack on the ball with superb. Around the body, he goes up towards half forward. Costa's there. The ball's in front of him and running for him. If he can pick it up, he gets it. He pulled high. The umpire said play on comes to Meekins, who slips over as he kicks the ball into the pocket. Brogan's there. It beats him over the boundary line, is it? Yes, for a boundary throw in the right full forward pocket. So Greg Anderson has 2 options really, hasn't he? If he can get Hassel off the ground or Roddy Bettridge. I think his chances of getting Hassel off the ground are far greater than that of Ronnie Bettridge.
You've got no way for getting Bettridge off.
Exactly right. 4 holding the balls, that's unbelievable. They're in the throw-in. Left-handed tap down by Mummer. The ball's into a pack of players, and the umpire said we'll have a bounce down. Steele comes off, and Johnson comes back on for the Panthers. There'll be a bounce down, right full forward pocket at the northern end of the Noarlunga Oval. The bounce down into the pocket. Morgan is there, tapped on further afield though by, looks like McGowan, and there'll be a boundary throw in that right full forward pocket at the northern end. That's the end the Panthers are kicking to. They're 7-1-43. They lead the Doggies 5-7-37.
Yes, not much happening here. South Adelaide really do need to score in this quarter. Centrals did kick 2 goals in that first quarter into the wind. And for South Adelaide, they really do need a goal badly. Costa with the ball comes around, gets a hurried kick. But stepping in the way is Radley Muller taking the mark. He plays on, goes to the outer side of the ground with a handball, coming up with a long kick up to the centre of the ground and finding his teammate there in Murray Hamblin. He plays on, gives it over to McGowan, the running player, looking inboard there and finding Cochrane. Cochrane takes a good mark, goes straight on with it, goes up to an open goal. Can it bounce through? It's bouncing, skidding, and it's hit the post. 5 goals, 8 now. That is Central Districts. They go to 38 and South Adelaide 7 goals, 1-43. And that's Cochrane's first score in his league career. Kim Cobb to bring the ball back in. Goes to that outer side ground. Keeps the ball a little bit lower. Crawshay in front. Can he take the mark? No, it does come down to the player there for South Adelaide in Morgan. Morgan gets a hurried handball over there to Turvey. Turvey going upfield with a bad kick. Can't find Brogan. Good tackle though by Brogan. Keeps the player there, keeps into it, but does slip over at the wrong time. Comes back to Bello. Bello with a kick up to the half forward, but jumping in there for South Adelaide and doing a good job is Clint Draper, playing loose in defence. He has got Talbot this side, but I'll guarantee he won't come this side. Clint Draper's kicked a couple of goals, but now playing loose in defence. Goes to the outer side of the ground with a drop punt, looking for Crawshay. Over the top, though, is the Centrals player in Hamblin. He can't take it. Good play there by South Adelaide. They get it over to Threadgold, who goes up to the wing, and courage shown by the South Adelaide player. But chipping in for Central Districts is Davey. Davey comes inboard. Good handball on again, and they've got any number of... That's Tamlin, was it, who gets a quick kick up to Cochrane. Cochrane with good hands. But chipping in for South was Mills, was it? Yep. He goes up forward to Meekins. Meekins gets knocked over by his teammate in Brogan. Brogan keeps his feet though. Over the top is any number of players for Central Districts, and they do come out with the ball. Coming grandstand side, looking for Scotty Lee, the veteran. Can he get there? Yes, he does. He keeps his balance, gets a good handball over, this time to Bello. Bello's got time to turn, look inboard and look for Cochrane, but a bad kick there falls in the arms of Mills. Mills with a bad handball, had nowhere else to go. It wasn't Mills, it was Threadgold, had nowhere else to go, and chipping in there was Central Districts. They knocked the ball forward. Again, 3 or 4 players. Draper with courage gets over the top of the ball, taps it out there to Talbot. Talbot looks around, goes on and goes to the safety of the boundary line to the outer side of the ground, and the ball will roll towards the boundary line, and the South Adelaide player doesn't worry about trying to keep the ball in, and that player there was Michael Doherty. And they've got a boundary throw in out of side ground around about 55 metres out of the Central's goals.
Well, called, Smitty. 4 minutes non-stop. Brilliant performance. There's a throw in.
Short and sharp.
Crochet
like
and Moller. The ball comes down to Bello. They take it off him, though. Crochet was there. Oh, tripped there by against Redgold, and the umpire said that's okay as the ball's kept in play. Looks like McCardle has got it on the right boot. He bangs it high towards 10.5 forward. In front, Keenan fourth. The ball comes to ground to Turvey. The handball is good to Hassel. Hassel is free. The first time he's been free, but he lost the footy. Can he get it back again? No, he can't. What a horror day he's having. It comes to Lee, gives it to Healy. Healy will bomb from about 55 metres. He bangs it in high, but it's away to the right-hand side. And in fact, it's out of bounds on the John Bull. Or no, it's touched. The umpire said it was touched right in the last moment.
Well, what would you do if you're Johnny Hassel? You just have to keep going and going and going, don't you?
Well, he's getting his hand on the foot, isn't he? Just every time he gets it, he just has it. He just makes a
one of
mess
those
of it.
days.
Yeah, but it's in play.
Keep going there, Johnny, you'll get it.
Did Scotty Lee say anything to him when he tackled him and put him to the ground?
I
I'm
bet
sure
he-
he
bet
just
he
reminded
would.
him he's having a dog of a day.
He's probably saying, this is holding the ball.
He probably said, we're out here to hassle you today, son. As the ball is thrown in. The big men do battle once again. The tap down by Crochet, picked up by Merton. He's dragged to the ground without the footy, I thought. The umpire.
In the back.
In the back.
In the back.
Panthers have got a free kick in the last line of defence. That'll be the player.
Yeah, no, that was fair. No, that was fair. There's no question of that.
Morgan to take the free kick. Last line of defence. He goes straight to that defensive side, outer side. In front, it's a good mark. Or it should have been a mark to Dowdy. It hit his hands and dropped out. Chance now for the Dogs if they can keep it in play. They can't. Boundary throw in front of the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. 7-1-43 the Panthers, the Doggies 5-8-38, and we're approaching the 26-minute mark on the Torrens, on the Dave Benson Caravan time clock.
And the ball's been thrown in, and Muddler actually knocks the ball down, gets a hurried kick looking for Cochrane. He can't take it. Well sport there by Turvey. Holm comes in, picks it up, gives it back to Ford. He's got time to go back and have a set shot and puts it straight through for his first. He's second, Central District 6. They go to 6 goals, 8-42 though. Trail South Adelaide 7 goals, 1-43 by the solitary point. We've played 26 minutes and we'll go back to studios and check scores from all around the grounds courtesy of Michelle's Patisserie.
Hawthorn 11-6-72, lead Adelaide 5-10-40. Sydney 8-9-57, lead Richmond 8-7-55. We've also got the Eagles 7-6-48, leading Port Adelaide 4-4-28, and Glenelg 9-4-58, leading, in fact, Glenelg 9-4-58, leading Norwood 8-3-51. Those scores thanks to Michelle's Patisserie at Hollywood Plaza. Back to Noarlunga.
Umpire at the moment, Ronnie Bentridge bounces it down. Big Crochet, but he couldn't take it. Comes to Moller. Moller over towards Daniel Stevens. He bangs it in towards full forward. It's going to go to the back of the pack, almost to mark the Ford. It is a mark. He was at the back against Johnson, and a double grab has seen him hold the footy, and he'll have a shot for goal in the pocket, exactly the same spot he kicked the last sausage roll, so he knows where to put it, boys.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, DB. The ball actually came off the side of the boot from Stevens, and Ford did pretty well to keep his eye on the footy. The umpire's calling the South Adelaide backman away from the mark, but Ford, pitcher perfect conditions here this afternoon apart from the wind, and he lines up now and he puts it straight through the middle. That's his third, and he certainly did know the position because he put 2 through in a minute, or inside a minute. Centrals move along to 7-8-50, and they now lead the Panthers in 7-1-43.
Corey, that's something that South Adelaide didn't need. There's 2 quick goals to Ford in this last 2 minutes of the game of this quarter.
Yeah, they've done a lot of good work in this term, but those 2 late goals to Kenan Ford really have hurt the Panthers, and we'll have to see if they can just hold on now and get themselves to half-time and regroup.
They need a goal this quarter. They've yet to bother the scorers in this quarter.
Yes, and I think that's a big difference, of course. The Doggies kicked 2 against the breeze. South, as you heard Smitty say, not troubled the scorer. Down goes the bounce. Brogan into the ruck. The tap came down, beautifully taken by Costa. Over the top to Dowdy. Dowdy up towards half forward. Who's he looking for there? No one can take the mark. Oh, there's a Central District mark being claimed and it's been paid. Not sure who the player was, but anyway, kicks it might have been the player there in Hicks who got the ball down into the centre. Here's Daniel Stevens again, running through the centre of the ground. Drop punts up towards full forward in front. Merton, good mark, made front position in opposition to Bello, and got rid of Bello at the right time there as he breaks away and kicks the ball out to the half-back flank, taken by Brogan. The handball looks good to Hall. Hall will put it on the left boot there, and there's a player in front of his immediate opponent out there. That was the player in Dowdy. The ball comes to ground. Opportunity now for the Panthers. Hall got the handball back. In fact, from the player there in Dowdy, and out wide it goes. A chance now for Costa, who's had a bounce. What will he do? He bangs it on the right boot up towards half forward. The big men fly across the front of the pack there. Was Hicks. The ball comes to ground. Taken now by Hicks, and he centres the ball into the lead there of Chris Gowns. It bounces beautifully for Daniel Stevens, who's had a few touches in this quarter. Up towards Ford, who's in front, pumped away from behind. A chance for Cobb if he can take the footy. In fact, he almost took it off the hands of Ford. The ball's at the bottom of the pack. What will the umpire do? He's standing back saying, get it out, boys, before I ping you for holding the ball. Player grabbed high there was Chris Gowns. The high ball in towards full forward. McArdle, hung onto it, I thought, kicks it off the ground, and he put it through for another goal for the Doggies. 8 goals, 8.56. First goal to McArdle. South Adelaide 7-1-43 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Yeah, not the start that, not the finish that South Adelaide wanted.
No, Smithy, they've had a bit of a run on the Doggies, haven't they? Aided by a couple of questionable decisions, but at the end of the day, they've been in the front and they've been delivering it high and long as quickly as they can get it. And that ball, we thought there was going to be a ball up, but the umpire continued to let it go.
It's almost like rugby union style, isn't it? They let it go until the ball comes out.
Yes, got it forward, and McArdle, clever player that he was, chipped it off the ground for his first.
And if it doesn't come out?
Holding the ball. Brogan up against Muller. This time it favours, the bounce actually favours Brogan. He takes it and gets a hurried kick out to the outer side again, and leading in the race of the ball there is 3 or 4 Centrals players. The Centrals player in front though is Hopwood. He taps the ball over to Hamlin, but the boundary line beats them both, and it will be thrown in on the outer side. If you just joined us, it's 56 Central Districts. They lead South Adelaide 43 at Noarlunga, and Centrals are aided by around about a 4 or 5 goal breeze. And I can tell you it is an absolute freezing cold breeze. The umpire throws it in. Brogan again gets it down. This time that favours his teammate there in thread goal. He gets a hurried kick back up towards the wing. And again the ball goes out of bounds. Right opposite here at 5 RPH where it's out of bounds. Centre wing. 56 plays 43. Crawshay this time doing the ruck work up against Muller. Muller does actually get in front. Crawshay pushes him out and no one actually takes the ball, so it actually comes free. The Centrals players through Lee, was it? Scotty Lee gets up to McArdle. Over the back there is Draper. Spores it, falls out towards Talbot. Talbot gets a handball over this time to Draper. Cobb it was, who gets a hurried kick up towards the wing, and it sees the ball goes out of bounds. But as that, the siren goes to end the first half of football here at Noarlunga. The score's 8 goals, 8.56. That's Centrals. They lead South Adelaide 7 goals, 1.43. And that's half-time. It's a 13-point ball game in favour of Centrals. South Adelaide did lead by 30 points at the start of the quarter. At the end of the first quarter, they led by 30 points. At half-time, they now trail by 13 points. And we'll go to Dennis Brown, who will give us goal scorers so far.
Into the second quarter.
But the interesting thing is that Centrals did kick 2 into the breeze, and at this stage that is the difference in the match.
Yes, the second quarter the Panthers didn't bother the scorers. It didn't even look like it. As we're about to start the third quarter here at Noarlunga Oval, the ground is bathed in sunshine as the umpire holds the ball aloft, ready to get proceedings underway. Crawshay in the ruck, the Moller. And the first bounce is crucial. The first takeaway is crucial. Ball down now. Favours Moller and he slips over, so Crawshay gets an easy tap on the ball. That taps to the centre forward in favour of Mills. Outside to Dowdy, gets a kick around the corner, looking for Brogan. Ball races towards the ground, and that man, Jerry Seinfeld, a.k.a. Shane Ellen, takes it over the boundary line, and there's going to be a throw in.
You guys think he looks like Jerry Seinfeld?
Not in a million years, but he's starting to grow on us a little bit.
Boundary umpire pocket in the grandstand side of the ground, throws it in. Crawshay and rather Brogan and Muller it was that were wrestling for a quick kick into the forward line. Healy getting back, showed great courage, committed himself to the ball, didn't take the mark. It's cleared now through Davey. He clears it to the outer side of the ground, the defensive side of the ground, out to the scoreboard there. Turvey it's the first on it. He pounces on it and with his left foot spears in a pass looking for DeMacy. But coming through was Jerry Seinfeld. Shane Allen stepping through, taking a nice strong mark, nicely, good hands, and he has it now kicking from about 40 metres out from goal, looking at his third.
He certainly is, 40 metres out, directly in front, aided by the breeze. Just to start, South Adelaide need. Leans back. The only thing the umpire has to do is put up the 2 fingers to register their 8th goal. His third. South Adelaide go to 8 goals, 1.49. They trail Centrals 8 goals, 8.56. A good start to South Adelaide. just played 1.5 minutes of this first quarter.
Yes, a welcome addition to the South Adelaide side this week. Gives the South Adelaide Panthers a little bit of direction and certainly a target to aim at. They were very wayward in their kick in their first quarter last week, and they've been quite accurate. Well, 8 goals won says it all. 8-1-49 the Panthers. It's a 7-point ball game. And we're back in the middle of the ground. Crawshay v Moller. Moller this time holds his feet and gets a tap. Out the back of the pack to home, but he can't take it. Ball comes clear. Costa's got a bit of space. Kicks around the corner towards centre forward. Mills is the target. Underneath the ball, spoiled well over the back by Hopwood. Cleared now by Ricky McGowan on the left. Goes out the outer side. And Stevens took attempted mark, and Cobb comes through. He's going to clear on the left. Kicks forward now. Lilico's going to mop it up. An ill-directed kick, and Lilico takes a mark. Left half back Frank, right in front of the 5RPH commentary team.
Yeah, Lilico just looking for his options now, looking to switch it, but South Adelaide have cleverly held up the middle of the ground, so he's going to have to come grandstand side, one would think. He does that now, punches it into the breeze. The big pack forms. Keenan Ford tries to come through and get something. Johnny Hassel at the front of the pack manages to get it away without being caught holding the ball. Gets on to Crawshay, over to Steele. Steele with the left foot, gets it forward into the full forward, marking one out. Jewel there, nothing doing to Macy. Rose off the front of the pack beautifully, snaps it round the corner on the left. That's a lovely goal. That's his first for the afternoon, and a very, very, very much needed goal to the Panthers. They've got 2 in a matter of 2 minutes, 45 seconds.
Great play then by the big fella in Crawshay to pick the ball up, turn around and give the quick handball over there to the South Adelaide player in Todd Steele, who then got a big kick down forward. The Macy roving the ball very well, picked it off the pack and ran through for his first goal. Good start to South Adelaide. They've kicked 2 goals now in 3 minutes. Just to start, the Panthers wanted, and it'll be interesting to see how the doggies do return.
Yeah, and that all started with Kim Cobb, I thought, his desperation to spoil the mark and then break away with the footy.
Good call.
You certainly wouldn't think that Crawshay's 200 centimetres tall, the way he's moving around, quite nimble. He gets the ball clear out of the centre bounce again. Morgan it is, taken high for mine. Umpire says play on. Holm kicks it off the ground towards the outer side. Hassel leads in the chase of the ball. Dowdy rather, but comes clear. Hassel's a target. He's tackled well by Cochrane, and the umpire says, well, it wasn't Ronnie Bettridge, it was the other umpire, and in fact it was Mike Humphreys, and he said, that's okay, Johnny, I won't ping you this time, I'm going to ball it up.
I bet you what his heart went into his mouth though.
It certainly did.
Which umpire it was, Johnny Hassel, that's for sure. Crawshay caught one high before and he was down, but he's picked himself up and he's going to contest this bounce down against Radley Moller. Crawshay and Moller just wrestling, but Moller gets the tap down. Plenty of players in there again, working tight and hard in close. It comes back to Moller with a quick handball over to Cochrane, and they're away and running now, the Dogs. Over to Chrissy Gowans on his left foot. He gets into full forward looking for Mercado. It's fisted away from him. Comes down and mopped up through Merton it was with a quick kick back looking for Kimmy Cobb, and he takes a nice solid mark at half back on the grandstand side of the wing here at Noarlunga Oval. He switches it inside and finds Morgan, who's made some space, I should say. I'll spit it out shortly, and gets it up to half forward. Dean Brogan is pushed underneath the ball. It comes to the back, and Graham fights with Ellen. Cleverly done there by the Central's player. It's away to Hopwood, and they're off and running now, the Bulldogs.
Yes, comes through to Stevens, who twists and turns, backs to Hopwood, finds Michael Davey right in front of the 5RPH commentary team. He takes a mark, and he's going to steady up play. Hasn't got too much forward, goes on the right foot, looking for Holm inside. He'll find that player. He's backed up well. Lilico's running past, but Holm elects to go on the left to find Healy. Healy comes back on the left foot himself. He's looking for right at the front to Scotty Lee, pushed underneath the ball, and a good mark by Merton taken in the half-back flank for South Adelaide. He'll come inside now to Kimmy Cobb. Takes on the left, hands off to Steele. Beautiful looking left foot kick down towards Brogan's a target underneath it, and beautiful mark for Brogan. Certainly a contender for the cattle crash mark of the day. Dowdy's clear wide. Kick just behind him, but he has time to steady. It goes towards goal, and you hear the crowd go, yo, little beauty, because he's put it through for his first. South Adelaide 10-1, 61 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. Travelling beautifully at the minute, a leading Centrals 8-8-56.
Good play again by South Adelaide. They just kept the ball, chipping the ball around, clearing and looking for the running player. Again, good play by Tauber at the back there to find Cobb. Cobb then with the running player. They're just using the ball very well, South Adelaide, Corey, and the fact that they're finding it from body to body. They're not blazing away. They're looking for the open spaces, and that's exactly what ran the ball through.
Brogan did wonderfully well to switch the play back across to Dowdy. That was the team rules, and he followed them to the tee. Back in the middle, it's Muller and Crawshay. Muller gets the fist up, and they're not too happy, the two big fellas. They're just having a bit of a word to each other as the Bulldogs come away with it now. Comes out through Lilico with a little chip kick over, looking for his teammate in Stevens it is. That's Daniel Stevens just taking the mark on the centre wing, a fair way up the ground. He pumps it in with a long, high kick into the breeze. Should hold up, and it does. A big pack flies, and 3 or 4 players, a couple of South Adelaide players tried to claim it there. It has come away to Talbot. He's the one the umpire said had the first hands on it and had the main grab on it. He switches it over to Hassel, who thinks about going, but then just holds himself up, and I'm sure Scotty Lee reminded about how he caught him earlier in the game. He switches it inside to Crochet, who's got a bit of space, done well there, just trying to set it up, the Panthers. The Dogs are doing well to flood back and fill most of the zones, but they come to the grandstand side, right in front of the 5 RPH commentary box. Brogan commits himself beautifully, comes down to Dowdy, on to Costa, closing into 50, puts it up to the top of the square, looking for Draper, has a nice jump at it, takes a fantastic grab. Nice strong hands there by Draper. Again, the Panthers following the team rule, and Draper has a shot for goal, 20 metres out, kicking for his third directly in front.
Yeah, he's already kicked 2, and as you heard DB say, a good strong mark under a lot of pressure there was Clint Draper. Again, South Adelaide using the ball very well. Draper to line up from about 25 metres out, directly in front. Kicking what could be his third goal. The breeze favouring him. Comes in, drop punts on the way, and the umpire's gone a little bit to his left, but I think he's got it straight through. Yes, he has, just snuck in. That's now their 11th goal. They go to 11 goals, 167. That's South Adelaide. They lead Central's, I can't say, 8 goals, 856. Central's yet to score in this quarter. Draper's third goal. That's on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. And DB, we played 8 minutes, courtesy of Dave Benson Caravan.
Yes, and you've got to be impressed with the South Adelaide defence at the moment. I just like the way they are following orders. Obviously, Greg Anderson said bring it to this grandstand side at every opportunity, and the defenders are starting it all. They're playing well across that half-back line and creating the opportunities, and the big man again, Crochet, he's an integral part of this team.
Yes, back in the centre of the ground. Great start to the Panthers, 4 even goals without any reply from the Doggies. Out of the, Stevens gets the ball away from the centre square, but tackled and wrapped up very well by John Hassel. Johnny Hassel appealing for the free kick. But, Johnny, you're not going to get anything this afternoon given the recent form of the umpires. So you just need to get hold of the footy, young fellow. But the ball, a replay of moments earlier, bounced down. Moller does pretty well, puts Cross out of the way. Ball comes clear to Morgan. Talbot run down pretty well by his the opponent, and ball comes through towards Costa from Turvey. Mills roves it well, slips as he kicked it, and it didn't aid, but it's Draper it is who gets the ball wide, tries to twist and turn, could have had a shot at goal, but he mops it up pretty well, comes wide at Brogan, who's had a shot at goal, and has the big fella kicked it? I think he has. Fantastic work by the big tall centre forward, roved it, and he did very well kicking his second. And Brogan, I'll tell you what, he moves very well for a big fella, doesn't he? South Adelaide, 5 straight goals in this third quarter, 12-1. What's 12-1? 12-73. 12-1-73. Just got to get my maths right. Central's 8-8-56 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
And he's still working a bank. Unbelievable. Yes. Great effort there by Clint Draper to keep battling away and force the error, force the turnover, who found Brogan.
Back in the centre of the square, tapped down now by Crochet as far as DeMacy. He gets a quick kick up to the centre half forward area, keeping it in the main corridor. Mills attacks it hard, gets a snap around again, looking for Dean Brogan again, who's in there fighting hard. Draper's coming out as well to offer some support. Clever little handball from Brogan over to Hall. Hall with a little chip, left footed kick straight through the middle. You can hear it from the crowd. They're starting to pump up here at Noarlunga. The South Adelaide supporters are getting right behind their side. Lovely piece of football by the Panthers.
That certainly is. That's their 14th goal. They go to 13 goals, 179. They lead Central's 8 goals, 856 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. And courtesy of Michelle's Patisserie, we'll go back to the studio and get scores from all around the grounds.
Eagles 9-8-62 lead Port 5-5-35. Glenelg 10-5-65 lead Norwood 10-4-64. Hawthorn 14-7-91 lead Adelaide 8-12-60. Sydney 10-10-17 lead Richmond 10-9-69. Those scores thanks to Michelle's Patisserie at Arndale. Back to Noarlunga.
Yes, 10 minutes gone. The Panthers have kicked 6 straight. Back in the centre. Crochet gets a tap, kicked off the ground in danger. Hassel comes wide, and this very clever player in Young Hall got a bit of space, leading to the chase of the ball, handballs to himself, and gets a kick on the right foot off the ground, and McGowan's going to clear, and he steadies and finds, looking for Scotty Lee, but Healy chips in well. Free kick to Healy, and Scotty Lee plays on. The umpire comes back, so there's no advantage in that. Healy's going to get the ball.
Fair decision.
It was a good decision, Speedy, quite right, and Healy's going to clear now. Kicking long to the outer side. His target is Moller. Over the back of the pack is Spoil, and it comes forward. Gowans it is, clears to Moller again. Little chip kick in the favour of Bello. Bello comes back on his right, not his favourite side, comes back on the left. He's more comfortable there. McArdle's his target and finds him. Beautiful kick by Bello, finds McArdle laced out, having a shot for goal. Geez, the doggies need this.
They certainly do need this. South Adelaide, 6 straight goals in this quarter so far. And McArdle lining up for a shot around about 45 metres out, the 45-degree angle. He's already kicked 2 for... no, sorry, he's only kicked 1. He's lining up for his second. Comes in now, the drop punt on the way, the right foot. He's actually kicked it to a little bit to the left and it's gone through for a minor score. And that's Central District's 9th point. They go to 8 goals, 9.57. South Adelaide, though, 13 goals, 179.
Yes, my fault there, Smithy. I do apologise. Putting 2 fingers up in front of you didn't do you any favours at all.
Kimmy Cobb kicks it in, goes straight down the middle, looking for Dowdy, who takes a strong mark.
He's been all right too.
He's working hard too. They come away now through Talbot, just chips it over to Hall, a little bit indirect, but Hall should be able to keep it in. He can too, cleverly done. Tries to get around Healy and they just sort of stand in a standoff situation on the boundary line. Comes back to Talbot though, and he just chips one short over, looking for Morgan, who just ducks ahead but holds a nice strong mark and stands his ground. And Danny Stevens just stands over the top of him and says, son, you can earn that one, you can earn that kick. He's just looking at his options now, Morgan. He goes to the centre of the square, looking for Dean Brogan. He'll commit himself, and he does nicely, but it's punched away from him. And they come away now, and South Adelaide have it through Lee. Lee gives it over the top, looking for Hicks, and Hicks finds a runner, and they clear it now through Slade. Slade through the centre of the ground, looking up to half forward, but Cobbett is it's falling back into the hole, and butters up nicely for South Adelaide. He offloads it, and his South Adelaide teammate is just wrapped up and dumped into the ground by Scotty Lee. It was pretty tight in there, and we'll have a bounce down centre half forward, the true centre half forward position for the Panthers.
Yes, ball up. The umpire elects to throw it up. Bit soft there. Keenan Ford v Crawshay. Comes to a quick kick out towards Meekins, it is. Costa, rather. I do apologise. Costa's got a bit of time now. Comes out his right foot. Kicks long and high. Dowdy's underneath the ball with Healy. And Dowdy pushes him out of the way. Too strong. Well played, young fella. Good mark. And certainly that'll give him great confidence. He now kicks long. Target is Brogan. He's underneath the ball. Chipped in there well by Hopwood. And he mops up very, very well. Comes into pressure. He's under the pump. The umpire calling for holding the ball to the crowd. Nothing doing. Pushing it back to Mills for mine. The umpire says no, play on. Ball comes forward to Daniel Stevens, who takes the mark right in front of the 5-hour patch commentary team.
I'm not going to call the umpires cheats, but that was definitely holding the ball.
Well, it was the same as the one that he didn't pay before. I can't quite work it out.
Hey?
Danny Stevens has it.
Doesn't matter.
Tips it up by Dowdy, comes through looking for a spoil, but he doesn't get an effective fist on it. Comes to the back to Bello. Bello up to half forward now, looking for Ford. They're wrestling for it now. Off hands are home. It is that just works very, very hard to get a handball over to Healy. Healy's away and running through 50 on his left foot. What will he do? He should go to the top of the square, and he does. Looking for a runner in McArdle. He's actually gone for a bit more than that and kicked it across the face of goal and through for a minor score as Moller comes off to have a spell and Arnold back on. See if South Adelaide can take advantage of this with Big Crawshay up against Arnold yet again.
Yes, Johnson's going to clear the ball or have the kick in for the South Adelaide Panthers as we see Meekins off to stag off and Meekins on rather. The ball comes out to Hall. He's a clever young player, handballs to himself, and he's going to take the ball out of bounds, and that's what he really wanted, Smithy, because there was plenty of pressure from the Centrals.
Yeah, 3 players to 1 there, but he did that very well. South Adelaide do need to regroup now and kick another couple of goals.
Yes, Arnold on now in front of Crawshay. Tap forward, Hassel's in there working very, very hard, trying to get something out of this game. It's been disaster for him so far. Bello gets the ball forward. Number of plays in there. Gowans it is. He's pushed over the boundary line. Umpire says no, we'll continue to play it on. But the boundary line finally does take the ball, and we are going to have a boundary throw in right forward pocket in favour of the Doggies.
Centrals have weathered this storm pretty well, Corey, because South did kick 6 goals in the first 10 minutes, and they haven't scored for another 5 minutes since. So Centrals are playing the better footy at the moment.
Looking for another one now. They're just bottling it up, the Bulldogs, and again the ball is tapped over the boundary line, this time by Panther. I think it was Kimmy Cobb, and there'll be another throw in that forward pocket, grandstand side at the northern end of the ground.
They were appealing for deliberate out of bounds too.
Yeah, that might come just a little bit later, probably the 4th quarter. I reckon DB's got good money on that. The throw in now, Crawshay, big fist over the top, but doesn't clear the zone really, and it comes back to Slade. I think quick kick round the corner, just looking for McArdle. It bounces over his head and over Johnson's head, through for another minor score for the Bulldogs, and they move along to 8-11-59, trailing the Panthers 13-1-79. Very good kicking from South Adelaide.
Yes, Kimmy Cobb's going to bring the ball in. Johnson just handed it over him again. Left footer, straight down the middle of the ground. Crawshay's underneath it. Dowdy over the back of the back. Good spoil by Healy. Number of players there. Healy actually gets the ball clear towards Scotty Lee. Pushed down in front of him. Peels the free kick. Umpire says play on. Keenan Ford now gets the ball. Looking towards McArdle. He's underneath it. Over the back of the pack.
Oh, good spoil.
Good play by Cobb, I think it was. Johnson rather. Hassel leads in the chase of the ball, kicks it off the ground himself, got a bit of space, used his pace very well, comes back on the right foot, steadies now, comes inside, Morgan's his target, finds him. There's the overlap now. He's put his pressure in Talbot under the pump, ball handballed forward. Brogan tried to get it forward. Trent Mills now steadies, back on the right foot, kicks to the top of the square. Shane Ellen's there underneath it, being held on for mine. The umpire says yes. Yes, Shane Ellen, a.k.a. Jerry Seinfeld, you've been hung on. Smithy, he's going to kick another one. I think he's going to kick his fourth.
He's certainly lining up for his fourth, and good positioning there. Held his ground pretty well, and the Centrals player did hang on to him. And Shane Ellen lining up for what is a pretty important shot.
One of those Matthew Lloyd type scenarios where Lloyd just tries to hold the player at bay with his body. This time, though, Ellen's got the free kick.
Drop punt on its way. Again, the umpire doesn't move too far. That's 4 straight goals to Ellen. That's South Adelaide's 14th. They go to 14 goals, 185. Leading Central Districts 8 goals, 11, 59 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
The reason why the free kick was paid, the umpire was in perfect position on that occasion. And
good calling.
It makes a big difference when the umpire makes perfect position. Let's quickly go back to the studio for Around the Grounds, courtesy of Michelle's Patisserie.
Glenelg 11-5-71, lead Norwood 10-4-64. Eagles 9-9-63, lead Port 5-5-35. Sydney 11-12-78, lead Richmond 11-11-77. Hawthorn 15-8-98, lead Adelaide 9-13-67. Those scores thanks to Michelle's Patisserie at Colonnades. Back to Noarlunga.
Yeah, thank you, Peter, doing a wonderful job back in the studio too. And South Adelaide really did need that goal because they kicked 6 in the first 10 minutes and then took them another 7 minutes to kick the next one. And they haven't, Central's yet to score a goal or only score a goal at the northern end in this quarter, Corey.
Yeah, back in the middle now, Crawshay and Arnold. Comes away through Costa. Can he pick it up? He does. He gets a quick hand pass over to Hassel. Hassel releases Turvey and they're away. Good pressure, though, from the Bulldogs. Turvey just trying to get it free. It gets over to Meekins. It's over on the outer side of the ground, though. Not really where they want it. They should change direction and center it now. They do. Kicking in and chipping in and falling into the hole very, very cleverly is the experienced Scotty Lee. And he immediately relieves the danger zone and goes to the outer side of the ground to find Michael Stevens there in front of the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. They're away again and running the Dogs inside to Holm. Holm has the ball in half back and he has a runner again. Gets it over to Cochrane and back to Holm in the 1-2. Just almost run down and Johnny Hassel has got him. He's got him holding the ball. He gets one back, Johnny Hassel, and the Panthers away. They play advantage and pump it long to centre half forward where Brogan sets himself. Flies, one hand, two hand, can't quite take the mark. Mills is down trying to crumb the pack. Healy's there with him. He gets a hand pass out, but only as far as Ricky McGowan, and Scotty Lee relieves the danger zone for the Bulldogs.
Yes, he certainly does. He kicks wide. McArdle's worked down well from full forward. Pushed over the line by Johnson. The umpire says yes. I agree with that. He's going to get a free kick pushed in the back. Johnson probably didn't need to do it. The ball was going to go over the boundary line in any case.
Well, there was no need for him to do it whatsoever. The ball was going out of bounds, undisciplined. All of a sudden now, Centrals are going to take it within the 50 metres of goal.
Yes, McArdle working well down from full forward. Kicks in long, looking for forward. Over the back, attempted mark. Gowans takes the ball clear. Hands it off to Slade, who runs. Has one bounce, steadies. Has a shot at goal. And he's pushed it way up towards the goal face, but actually doesn't go through. And Kimmy Cobb actually clears towards that man Hassel. He's finding plenty of ball in this third quarter. Have a bounce time because you run a fair way. And he kicks it. He switches play and finds Dowdy, who's found space in front of Healy. Kicks forward to Brogan, who's presented himself beautifully. Has one chap at it, but misses. Comes forward to Lilico, who crumbed well. He finds Hopwood, who's got a bit of space. Shepherded well by the skipper in Holm. Kicks long. Target up there is little Slade, who goes to the back of the pack, and that man Hassel gets the ball by a good handball by Cobb, who kicks long, down looking for DeMacy.
DeMacy is inside the 50, takes a strong chest mark, thinks about going on, but now just goes back, and he's going to have a shot for goal, probably kicking from about 55 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
I'll tell you, it's playing a blinder in this quarter for South Adelaide. Kim Cobb across half back.
He certainly is. Yep, certainly is playing very well. Good play again by Johnny Hassel, who has actually had a number of touches that time, finding DeMacy on the lead.
Wouldn't he been pumped when he got home caught holding the ball? That would have pumped him right up, I can tell you, because he's had a few against him and he's got one back now.
5-1 the score. DeMacy lining up for his second goal. Drop punt, 45 minutes, no, about 50 metres out. The kick's on its way. Has it got the legs? It certainly has. Has it got the accuracy? It certainly has. That's his second. The South Adelaide boys go to him and say, fantastic job. That's 15 goals won. That's correct, 15 goals won. Great kicking for South Adelaide. That's 91. Central's 8 goals, 11, 58. And we've played 21 minutes courtesy of Michelle's Patisserie. We'll go back to the studio and check scores from all around the grounds.
Yes, final score, Hawthorn 15-8-98 have defeated Adelaide 9-13-67. In local football, we've got the Eagles 10-9-69 leading Port 5-5-35 and Glenelg 12-7-79 leading Norwood 12-5-77. Those scores thanks to Michelle's Patisserie at Hollywood Plaza. Back to Noarlunga.
Panthers have kicked 8 for the quarter without a blemish. The ball comes through again, they're in attack. Costa tries to get the ball clear, but there's no avail. And we've found the number of South Adelaide players clearing their forward line. Hall's one. If they can get it to him, they're away and running. Costa working hard, as is a number of Central's players. And we've got a bit of a rough stuff at the bottom of the pack. Umpire Ron Betridge comes in and says,
could be a free kick
down.
Could be a free kick. Yes, there is.
You watch them, they pull a free kick out there just to break things up. He pulled it straight out of somewhere where you don't want to look at. And the old fella in Scotty Lee is going to get it. And certainly, DB, old heads in this
no
time.
doubt about that. Scotty would have given him one underneath. And Ronnie came in and said, hey, I saw the retaliator. You're gone. Good on you, Ronnie.
Up, he's out of the box too. He's not real happy. Scotty Lee, just in disciplined style, switches it to the outer side of the ground where Michael Stevens, brother of Anthony, leads in the chase of the ball. He gathers it in, pumps it up the centre wing, looking for Kingdom Ford. He backs back and over the back. Lovely mark there.
Steal.
Just trying to pick it out. Thought it was still. That was a great mark. Yeah, good stretch over the top and reaches up and takes a big grab. Kicks it with his left foot down the boundary line, outer side of the ground.
Yeah,
Plenty of players fly coming through though. The umpire has found a free. Plenty of players up, and the big push was on Shane Ellen. The Jerry Seinfeld looking like you've got to be kidding. Has the ball outer side of the ground, centre wing or half forward area, and he's just having a look for it. The doggies do well to flood back and fill the gaps, and he's going to try and find someone now. He does. He goes to the top. He pumps it in long. Brogan will be the man he's looking for. Brogan wrestles to the front, but Arnold gets in there. Can't take the mark. A snap from Mills is smothered. Central District's player is wrapped up there. Undies thought the call was going to come. I was biting my tongue.
The way DB was hitting me, I thought, hello. It was going to be for sure.
We all thought there could have been a free kick, but nothing doing. There'll be a bounce.
But that's the interesting part we make there, is that none of us knew whether it was going to be a free kick or, you know, or a throw-up.
That's an indictment on the game when you don't really know what's going to happen. Ellen gets the ball off the back of the pack, kicks forward. Draper does pretty well. 3 doggies onto 1, and accordingly the doggies will clear. Stevens has got a bit of time, comes on the right foot, looking for a player. He's got nothing to kick to, so he comes inside and finds Graham. Takes a handball wide. Lillico it is. He's running, having a bounce. Got support wide by Slade it is, or is it Cochrane? Young fella in Cochrane. He comes back inside, doing very well in his first game, young Cochrane. Finds his skipper in home, but always good when he kicked to the captain.
It certainly
because the captain always remember it. Captain has kicked indirectly, and it's wrapped up on the half-back line by Hall. He's going to come back inside, and again, a poor kick. Stevens has had 1 bite of it, 2 bite of it, misses it, comes wide to Bello, throws it away, and then appeals for holding the man. Umpire doesn't take any of that, and Hassel was going to clear it for the Panthers.
Hasselhoff halfback goes to the outer side. Oh, contender for cattle crash mark of the day, but he couldn't hold it, and they're away now. Shane Ellen pumps it to centre half forward, looking for Draper at the front. Draper comes a massive push. Massive push, Draper, and the umpire hasn't paid it, and the South Adelaide fans aren't happy, and the Bulldogs clear to the pocket this side, grandstand side of the ground, and a mark by Healy. Well, I'm still reeling from the push because it was massive. Healy goes up the boundary line, finds Chrissy Gowns who marks, and plenty of attention from Kimmy Costa, and Gowns has a bit to say, and the South Adelaide fans aren't happy at all.
You should not be driving a car, umpire.
Yes, indirected kick. Umpire Ronnie Betridge is having the worst day of his life as far as umpiring.
He go into the Panthers club for a drink after this.
It wasn't Ronnie Betridge that time.
No, well, it wasn't Ronnie Betridge that time, but Peter Johnson's taken a mark. He's going to bang the ball in for the Panthers. Back in their attacking zone. Target is Brogan underneath it, but Arnold wraps it up well. Ill-directed kick. He's going to try to clear by Graham. Pretty poor handball, but Graham's good enough to mop it up. Mills has pushed his opponent underneath the ball. He's going to have a shot at goal. And has he put another one on the ground? Yes, he has. If you don't mind, Trent Mills, he's kicked 2. The South Adelaide Panthers have kicked 16-1, 97. They've kicked 9 goals this quarter without a blemish.
Smithy said if they can kick 10, they will win the game.
I told you that, but the great thing about South Adelaide there is their commitment to chase and block and tackle and just do all the hard things. and Mills there, he was on the end of it, but there was 4 or 5 players that just ran hard at the ball, tackled and chased, and forced the error, forced a turnover, and all of a sudden they've kicked their 9th goal for the quarter.
Great Shepherd too, DB.
Great
just
Shepherd,
to
DB.
let him loose.
Excellent Shepherd, and I think they're going to kick the 10 goals given half ball for the last week or so.
Without a blemish.
Without a blemish. Fantastic quarter by South Adelaide. We'll check scores in just a moment. The ball is back in the centre here, and Crawshay's up against Arnold.
They've pumped up the Panthers, and so are their supporters as the ball goes down. Crawshay did favours home, actually, and he gets a bit of a fist to it, but only as far as Dowdy. He tries to burst through, and he's wrapped up by Marco Bello. The umpire blows his whistle. He says, fellas, I'll do it all over again. We'll have another bounce as he pries everyone apart, and just wipes his hand on the ground, just looking for a bit of extra grip there. Trying to get this bounce right. The umpire just takes his time, makes sure everyone's having a good look at him, and they are, and he puts it down into the turf now. Ball again, just not a very straight one, and it favours other players, but no one can get an effective tap, and it comes away. Marco Bello's on the end of it. He gets it up to Mercado, looking for it. He bobbles once, bobbles twice. It's fisted away from the danger zone. Comes back to Talbot, gets a clever hand pass over the top to Johnson, and they're away again, the Panthers. They have a runner out wide, and they go long through centre wing. Up to half forward, Mills and Hopwood. Punched away from Mills cleverly and comes down to the Dogs, and they're away again. Got plenty of numbers there. Rick McGowan it is, outer side centre wing, gets it up looking for Keenan Ford. He holds out his players, and Marco Bello takes a mark at the back. They try and block it up, but it comes over the top to Ford. Ford there just waits on it, looks at his options and pumps it long into the full forward area where Mercado has a jump from behind and plucks it from 2 deep. Beautiful mark there by Mercado. 25 metres out, maybe 30, almost directly in front. Yeah, good contender there for the cattle crash mark of the day from Mercado. As Corey said, he was at the back of the pack and did jump over 2 and pluck it. Now he'll kick from around about, she was about 35 metres out directly in front, and Central's yet to bother the scorers with the goal this quarter. They've only kicked 3 points and would be a very, very valuable goal late into this 3rd quarter. The drop punt's on its way. It's gone too far to the left and gone through for a minor score. So Central Districts kicked their 4th point for the quarter. They go now to 8 goals, 12-60. They trail South 16 goals, 1-97. South Adelaide kicking 9 straight goals in this quarter.
Yes, we're coming up to 28 minutes on the Dave Benson Caravan time clock as the ball's brought in beautifully by Cobb. Ford it is that comes over the front. Turvey rose it very well, but he's wrapped up by a number of players. Morgan butters up and tries to get the ball clear. That man Hassel again gets the ball out to his teammate in Turvey, but the handball misses him, and Turvey kicks off the ground towards Talbot, looking for the boundary line, and I think you'll find that Daniel Stevens will take it over, and he certainly does. He takes it over centre wing, grandstand side, where at the 28-minute marker on the Dave Benson Caravan time clock, we've got a 37-point ball game in favour of the Panthers.
Ball's thrown in now just forward to the centre wing. The big fellas go at it. Tapped down by Arnold. It is kicked down to the air by Scotty Lee. Nice and high. A bit of an up and under. The players sit under it. No one can take an effective mark. Coming through at the back there was Johnson, and he runs it over the boundary line in the forward pocket for the Dogs grandstand side of the ground here at Noarlunga. The umpire now just going to give it a big heave. He's taking plenty of time as well. They are a little bit puffed out, I think, on that outer side of the ground. DB will call for another couple of boundary umpires very shortly. The ball's thrown in. Crawshay gets a tap down to the front. Holm it is that gets a snap around the body. Going to the top of the square, looking for Mercado. Big shove out. The umpire doesn't pay it, or he pays advantage because the Panthers are away. Talbot on the left foot gets it long. Turvey has the run of it, and they've got plenty of time and plenty of space here if he can gather it in. It sits up for him now, and he has plenty of time, but the siren beats him. Unfortunate there for the Panthers, but the siren sounds 3/4 time, and the Panthers lead 16-197 over Central's 8-12-60. They get a rousing applause from their supporters here.
Final score.
We've got 3/4 time scores. We've got Norwood 16-6-102, leading Glenelg 12-7-79, and 3/4 time at Woodville. Eagles 10-10-70, lead Port 8-7-55. Those scores thanks to Michelle's Patisserie at Tea Tree Plaza. Back to Noarlunga.
Yes, back here at Noarlunga, and away go the doggies off the boot of Daniel Holm up towards centre half forward. Morgan's there, however, for the Panthers. Gathers in the footy. A left footer out towards centre wing. Damassi in front, and Damassi takes the ball at half back for the Panthers. They've got to run this football now as he kicks it along centre wing on the grandstand side. Players set themselves almost to one-handed of Brogan. The umpire said someone was being held onto, and he said Brogan was being held onto.
It's a guess, isn't it?
Brogan will take the free kick for South Adelaide centre wing. No arguments there, boys?
I reckon even Panthers supporters reckon that was a bit soft, that one.
Yeah, a long way away, I couldn't tell you. There's the ball kicked by Brogan into the centre. Crawshay played a great game today, chips it short. That might be the wrong thing to do as the ball goes over the back, taken by McGowan. He kicked McGowan, I should say, around the body. Chance here now for the Panthers as Damassi's on hands and knees trying to get the footy. He drags it in under him. This could be dangerous if he can get the ball away. It's a kick towards the boundary line for a boundary throw in right half forward flank for the Panthers.
Great second effort there. He tried to get the first handball away. It spilled free. He dived at it again and knocked it on. It was a very good effort there by Damassi.
Yep, Brogan coming in to do the ruck work as Crawshay goes back down to a kick behind the play. Probably needs to go back a bit further than that because he's only had a half a kick there. Brogan in front does get it over from Arnold and the ball
Over
again
shoulder,
goes free kick. Yep, he did get one over the top. And a free kick to Dean Brogan.
He's been good today, Smithy, hasn't he?
He's attacking the ball well. He just needs to be a little bit cleaner in his hands, doesn't he, to be a real compliment footballer.
It's an oval-shaped ball, not a round one.
Yeah, that's the difference. Brogan on the outer side of the ground. Geez, a long way away from our commentary team here. Looking up forward, goes back in board again for the second time to find Crawshay. South Adelaide do need to attack, though. They can't go too defensive. Crawshay back to Brogan in the 1-2, and they've gained about 3'5".
And 30 seconds.
Yeah. And 30 seconds, that's one thing.
Bit early for that, though.
Yeah, it certainly is. They've got to score. Brogan this time decides to go in long with a drop punt up to the front of the goal square. Over the back there is the big fella in Shane Allen. And
Talbot floating down, I think.
It is Talbot too. It is Dean Talbot. I've got my Jerry Seinfeld mixed up with me. Joe, what's his first name? Kramer.
Oh, Cosmo.
Cosmo Kramer. Well,
You do like that show, don't you?
oh, it's a great show. Talbot lining up from around about 40 metres out directly in front in DB. Can he kick it?
Well, he is a very accurate kick, there's no doubt about that. Usually seeing him at half back, but he normally pinpoints when he kicks. And just thinking about the lookalike Shane Allen, fair dinkum, that's about as funny as some of his jokes, I've got to be honest with you. Now, Talbot, he's about, 35 metres out. A kick from about 40. It's a shocking kick off the boot and through for the minor score. So I think he might have just slipped as he came in to kick then, but he kicked a long way back behind the mark. So the minor score recorded for the Panthers, second behind for the day. They go along to 16-98 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. Central 8 goals, 12-60. The ball kicked in almost to the centre of the ground. Touches the velocity to win. The handball comes out to Holm. He tries to tap it back and taken by Costa. Costa didn't know where to go, then hooked it on the right boot. It's going to go up towards half forward. Out they come, the ball thumped forward by Draper. Meekins the opportunity if he can pick it up. He does so. He's bringing it back to half back. And
Good
the
play.
ball was taken by Turvey. Turvey was all by himself and actually marks the ball at centre wing now. He's going to go into the centre of the ground. He's got Hassel there. Hassel's game certainly picked up in the last quarter or so. He's got a player loose across half forward, and that player there is Dowdy. Dowdy runs to the 50, tips it short, looking for Brogan in front. The big fella's got it, and a good mark by Brogan, and he'll kick for goal from about 30 metres on an acute angle.
All started from there from Paul Meekins, only playing his 11th game. Looked back and saw his teammate there in Nathan Turvey, probably 15-20 metres backward behind him, gave him the kick, and they actually transferred the play right across the centre of the ground to the outer side, and it's ended up with Brogan, who will line up for goal.
Yeah, very good mark there. We just worry about his kicking style. He has a bit of an awkward kicking style. He's done the little thing where you mark the ground and you run straight through that line. So let's see if it does work. He's gone a long way back from the mark, and he's going to be very deliberate. He's gone a long way back on the mark.
South Adelaide doing all the attacking in this first 4 minutes of this last quarter too, Corey.
And it would really be beneficial if they could get a goal on the board for all that work. In comes Brogan now. Just stutters as he kicks. Looks all right. The goal umpire's head goes back. That's his third. He gets the applause from his players. That was the one DB said they wanted. If they get a second, they could be looking very, very, very comfortable indeed. Lovely goal there from Dean Brogan, and all that hard work has just paid off.
Certainly has, and I just got a funny feeling the Panthers have got a bit of a Colin McNiff here at the moment.
Certainly have.
She's all over. They will
It's all over undies.
There you go.
Goodness me.
And Andrew Underwood not prone to making big statements.
Unbelievable. Fair
Back in the centre of the square, it's Crawshay up against Arnold for Central Districts. Crawshay just lurking around.
Flat of blinder, hasn't he, big Crawshay?
Fantastic. Takes the actual space of Arnold, comes back down to Costa. Costa breaks away from a tackle. Again, goes even to the drop punt up to half forward. Can anyone take a mark up there? In front was Brogan. Drop what he should have taken. Comes down and Hicks does with a huge big screw punt. Gets it from one end of the ground to the other. Good spoil there by the fella in Steele. Gets it over to Costa, who then finds Hall out to the outer side looking for Hassel, but he couldn't take the mark there as The player taking the mark for Centrals was Chris Gowans. He gets it on, going to the outer side of the ground. They're looking for Healy. Finds that player, turns and twists, turns his player inside out, comes inboard to find, is it Cochrane? Slade gets tackled and goes backwards and finds Gowans. I think it is Gowans with a drop punt up to the front of the square. Out the back there, he's looking for Scotty Lee. The experienced Scotty Lee does it very easily. Over the back, kicks his second goal. That's Central District's ninth. Their first of the quarter, 9 goals, 12, 66. Plays South Adelaide 17 goals to 104. On the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, we played 6 minutes of this final quarter, courtesy of Dave Benson Caravans, and Scotty Lee read that ball very well.
Yeah, he just rode the pack superbly. Just committed Cobb to going in the air, and he just stayed at the back and took a chest mark. I noticed James Gowans went off late in that second quarter. I saw him talking to the doctor there during the third quarter. I think he might have jagged the top of his hammy. He might have done a little hamstring, and doesn't look like he'll come back on, and that seems to be hurting the Bulldogs a bit in around the midfield.
Bounce back in the centre. Crochet v Arnold. The ball beautifully taken by Costa again. That's about the third time he's taken the ball out of the centre. Hopwood dropped what he should have taken. Beautifully tackled there by Meakin. Goes to ground and holds the ball to the umpire. Superb tackle by little Meakin. He throws the ball on the right boot. There's a South player in the pocket. It looks like Mills. Mills has got it. Well, not in the pocket. He's out at half forward. I want to give the mile away. South supporters too much heart there as he bangs the ball up towards Draper in front. And Draper, very versatile player. At either end of the ground marks the ball. He's inside 50, but gee whiz, the angle is absolutely atrocious, particularly the way the breeze is blowing across the ground.
Now, we did see a player last week from Westerlake.
It was Draper. Draper kicked
it was Draper last week. Exactly, that's correct, last week. Can he do it again, Corey?
Well, it will be a tough ask. I reckon he might be on a slightly more acute angle this time, but it was a beautiful kick last week, and here's a lovely kick of the footy. Will be kicking from just inside 50, right on the boundary line, far side of the ground, gives the drop punt, goes to the top of the square. Don't think it's going to have the distance. A few players fly at the back, comes down, and a hand pass through by Central's defender through from Arna score.
Yeah,
the Panthers move along 7-3, 105 to Central's 9-12, 66. Sorry, DB.
I can say they conceded there. It looked like Hopwood that actually handballed the ball through. As the ball is about to be kicked back into play, looked like Healy kicking the ball. Graham, was it? Up towards the centre of the ground, and up they fly. Good mark there. Davey for the Dogs. He bangs it along centre wing on the outer side of the ground. Up they fly. McArdle was in front. The ball bounces awfully, taken by Chris Gowans. On the left boot he goes. It's going to lob into the arms of Daniel Stevens. A centre-half forward, and Stevens well within kicking distance with the breeze behind him. Will go back, and he's already booted a single.
Yeah, luck's a fortune, but you do make your own luck. All the Central's players running forward. It was a pretty shabby kick, but did fall in the arms of Stevens.
All you got to do is be in front, don't you, Smithy? And that's what he was. Stevens now guides the ball through. The umpire moves a little to his left, but it doesn't really matter because he's got it through the big sticks. His second, and the Doggies are making a bit of a charge here. They move along to 10 goals, 12, 66, no, 72. 10-12-72, trailing the Panthers 17-3, 105.
The Doggies are making charge. I think Undies is backtracking. Let's quickly go back to the studio and check scores from around the grounds. Thanks to Michelle's Patisserie.
Yes, Eagles 11-11, 77, lead Port 8-7, 55. Norwood 17-6, 108, Legal Nog 12-7, 79. Thanks to Michelle's Patisserie at Arndale. Let's go back to Noarlunga.
Thank you, Peter. Back in the studio. Crochet up against Arnold. Doesn't get anywhere clearly, though. Comes out again to Morgan for South Adelaide. Long handball on the outer side, looking for his teammate there in Doherty, who can't pick it up, but does soccer the ball out towards the boundary line. Can it get out there to the boundary line? No, it can't. It's kept in play by Central Districts, but this time the handball is actually found and it's kept in play again. Comes back to Bello. Bello runs past, gets to... quickly past his opponent there, does it very easily, comes out there to Evil Roy Slade, gets a hurried kick up to centre forward. Can anyone take a mark? Stills in there, but the big fella in, Keenan Ford, puts one arm up, pokes the ball in front of him and does take the mark. And gee whiz, is Central's making a charge here. South Adelaide stopped to virtually a walk, and Central's doing all the running at the moment. Keenan Ford will have a shot from goal right in front of the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, around about 45-degree angle, 45 metres out.
He's kicked 3 for the afternoon, been a good player, certainly a target for the Bulldogs up forward. Comes in now, steady in his approach over the ball, just spoons it to the top of the square. Number of plays there. McArdle's over the back, has one bite at it, can't have a second bite, wrapped up to the back, ball was clear. And we're going to have a shot at goal by Scotty Lee round the corner, but he just pushes to the right. And the Centrals move along 10-3, 73, trailing South Adelaide 17-3, 105.
Just after South Adelaide kicked that first goal before, I saw a few of their defenders just high-fiving each other and saying well done and whatever. I just hope they're not getting ahead of themselves. As I say that, James Gowans is warming up on the sideline, so this hamstring may not be too bad. He could come back on.
Kimmy Cobb to bring the ball back into play. Goes to the outer side of the ground. The big men are out there, Crawshay and Arnold. Crawshay taps it down first. There is Danny Holm. Got a tackle from behind. Oh! Gee whiz, I thought that was a bit hard.
No, I think that's fair because he's taken 2 or 3 steps. He's dodged and then he's come back in to try to give the handball off. He's had prior opportunity and that is the rule.
They've been hot all day though.
His arms were thin.
But he had prior opportunity. He could have given the ball off before he got tackled.
Wasn't much.
No, I don't think that was fair. But anyway, the Doggies have got it through Doughty, rather the Panthers have got it through Doughty to centre wing. Up they fly, big pack of players. Too many Panthers up, but luckily the Lux of Fortune comes to Mills. Oh, bounces to Fortune too. Ends up with Damasi as the ball spun into his hands. Up towards Draper again in front. And Draper going back will have a shot for goal and kick from about 40 metres. And he's a lot closer inward as far as the angle is concerned. And surely he would have learned from that last kick, which was... it sailed up into the breeze, actually lobbed right in the square, and I'd say go close to kicking this boy.
Lining up for his 4th goal, and great hands there by Draper, running at full pace to be able to take the ball like that, Corey.
Fantastic hands. Shane Ellen was running forward too. I've got to say it again, the Jerry Strong sign. Anyway, Shane Ellen was running forward, and he could have had him in one-on-one in the goal square, but he opted to go back and take the kick, and he's coming in for that now. Fairly tight angle drop punt. He's a little bit closer. He's got the distance. Has he got the accuracy? The goal umpire runs away to the right-hand side, and it's through for a minor score. Looking back now, he might have tried for that option of Ellen in the goal square one-on-one.
Yep, could have well done that with Centrals to bring the ball back in. And we've played just under 12 minutes, courtesy of Dave Benson Caravans. And if you are looking for a caravan, Dave Benson is the man to see. Go out there and see him. Him and his lovely wife, Tanya, will look after you. Stevens brings the ball back in, comes the grandstand side this time to find his teammate there in Hopwood. But it was great spoil there over the top by the South Adelaide player. And the player there was Nathan Turvey, who punched the ball out of bounds, and it'll be a resulting throw-in. And you can just hear the applause of the crowd, very much appreciative of Nathan Turvey's spoil.
I'll say it again, Smithy, it's all over.
Particularly the South Adelaide.
You're so brave.
He's unreal, isn't he? OK, throw-in Brogan to do battle with Arnold. Does work his way to the front, and as he kept the ball over the top, there is Arnold, who's actually pushed him through in the middle of the back, one would suggest, and Brogan's going to get a free kick. And that's what's happened. The umpire said, yep, you can't do that. You can't push him in the back when he's laying on the ground, stomp on his head.
I'd like to see the freeze for and against count.
Yeah, I think they're starting to even up.
I think you're right.
Central had a good run in the first half, and now the Panthers are getting a good run in this quarter, no doubt about that.
Well, Brogan, just outside of 50, goes to the top of the square. A good-looking kick, too, this time. Can anyone up there take a mark? Over the back falls out to Morgan for South Adelaide. He races in, and did you believe that?
Yep.
He's done a George Costanza and kicked a free kick.
Now I have heard everything.
South Adelaide go to 17 goals 5, 107. They lead Centrals 10 goals 13, 73.
That nearly could be the turning point of this football match, unless the Panthers can make amends. The ball thumped up towards 10.5 forward. Going without the ball was Doughty. The Doggy pounced on it. They're looking for Daniel Stevens. In there is Costa. Through came Slade. He was grabbed. Ends up with Morgan. Tries to burst through the pack. A chance now to kick high up towards full forward by Steele. Oh, the player got rid of his opponent in a fair dinkum wrestle, I should say. That was Brogan, and the free kick goes to the Doggy.
It was a great tackle there by Kim Costa, too, to force the error.
OK, the ball out towards the centre wing position. Here's the Doggies now. Comes to Daniel Stevens. He threw the ball away with one hand. The umpire said that's OK. Big Moller came through. He was tackled. Out come the Doggies, though. The ball out towards the half-forward flank. Gowans has got it. Back it comes to Healy. Healy tries to go fast. That's nearly holding.
Finally!
It is holding the ball. And this time the Panthers through Merton will take the free kick at half-back. Merton goes to the outer side of the ground. He's got a player out there. It might be Kim Costa, is it? Yes, it is. The ball is beaten for him, though, by Bello, who got the footy. Chance now for Talbot if he can pick it up. He can't do so. Bello goes in again, but the ball beats him over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Oh, the crowd is still absolutely ecstatic. They've got a holding the ball free kick from Ronnie Betteridge, the umpire. That was just beautiful.
The boundary umpire throws the ball back into play. Crawshay and Arnold. Arnold with a left-handed tap taken by Talbot. The hurried kick, though, goes out towards the boundary line again. McGowan has got it. The handball back towards Daniel Stevens. He bangs it up towards centre-half forward. McArdle's in the van at the back, thumped away by Johnson. Did it well. Gives his opportunities to Turvey to gather the footy. Clean hands by Nathan Turvey. He has a bounce. Well shepherded by Johnson. Second bounce now for Turvey. Onto the left boot. He goes up towards the half forward. Leg out in front. Draper. It clean bowled him now over the back. A chance now for McArdle if he can pick it up. No, it's not McArdle. Hicks is it? He bangs it back towards half forward, and there's McArdle taking the mark between half forward and centre wing. He wastes no time, bangs it in towards the centre, looking there for Slade. In fact, Cochrane over the top it goes. Here's Daniel Stevens again, a long bomb in towards full forward. Is this going to rock and roll through? It is. It's a goal to the Doggies. 11 goals, 13.79 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. The Panthers 17-5, 107, third goal to Daniel Stevens.
Interesting body language, Corey, to the Central Districts. Or even though that was a great long goal, not many players ran, well, virtually no one ran to him, and all the other Central players just had their hands on their hips bending over. Telling fact that body language in a game of football, when they've got a bit of a run on, no one actually came to him whatsoever.
Yeah, I think they're pretty tired.
I say again.
No. Just quickly, we'll go back to the studio and collect our scores from around the grounds, courtesy of Michelle's Patisserie.
Eagles 12-12-84, lead Port 8-9-57. Norwood 17-6-108, League Glenelg 12-9-81. Those scores thanks to Michelle's Patisserie at Artondale. Let's go back to Noarlunga.
Yeah, back in the centre of the ground, the umpires bounce the ball. Crawshay again gets the tap down to Mills. Mills on the outer side looking for the little player there for South Adelaide in Meekins, but it was too high for him, and over the back, Centrals have taken the mark, and the player there is Gowans. James Variety. Looking upfield, not much happening. One sense is that Centrals might have actually given up by now. They think it might have been too far out of him. But Central District's still in with a chance. Keenan Ford gets the ball. He gets a soccer off to the ground, looking out for the outer side there. The ball does fall the way of the South Adelaide player. He can't pick it up again. 3 or 4 players in there, tackling there. That comes out to South Adelaide. The Panthers again running the ball. Comes out to Mills. Mills has a bounce. 1 bounce, 2 bounces, running through the centre of the ground. He's got time to have a 3rd bounce. Goes in long to the goal square this time though. But chipping back there was Hicks. Takes the mark. Comes to the outer side of the ground looking for Lillico. Can he take the mark? Yes, he can against 3 South Adelaide players. Wasting a lot of time though. Comes back inboard. Gets it over here to Scotty Lee. Scotty Lee comes to the grandstand side with a drop punt looking for Stevens. Can he take the mark? Over the back was Johnson who sport. In comes Hassel. Gets a good pick up there. Gives it out to the running player there in Merton. And he can't pick it up. It comes out here to the little fella in Bello. Bello chips it in looking for Stevens. And over the back there, a good great ball by the South Adelaide player there in Kim Cobb. And the umpire says this time, give it to me, boys. That is okay.
It's too late. It was 20
The ball was in there. He dropped the mark. That was the trouble. He should have taken the mark. Great spoil. Crawshay up against Arnold. No one takes the ball. Mills does chip in. He's playing a game too. He's been very good for him in this last quarter as Mills gets the ball out. And we've played 18 minutes of this last quarter, and you guys are giving the umpires a hard time all day.
If you don't mind, the scary thing, when they come in and blow the whistle, you have no idea what they're going to call.
Exactly. I think they're getting close back to square with the free kick count.
Fair enough. Arnold gets the ball out this time. Comes towards again Mills, who's having an absolute blinder in this last quarter, and sees the ball over the boundary line. Right in front of the 5 RPH commentary team, where it sees South Adelaide 107, lead the Doggies 79.
Do the Panthers have more to play for here? They're playing to stay alive. Centrals are probably going to end up in the top 3. That could be something in that.
Yeah, there's something about staying alive, isn't there? The ball is thrown in.
Isn't that a BG song?
The big men, yes. The big Crawshay got the left-handed tap. The Mills who backs it back over the boundary line. The Central District players calling for deliberate. And if you're going to get one, it's going to be the last quarter. But the umpire disagrees.
And this would be the place to do it right in front of the South Adelaide grandstand.
Yes, they probably erupt as the boundary umpire's got the footy. We're approaching time on, remembering, of course, 20 minutes now these days. And then time on applies. As the boundary umpire, we've played 18 minutes, approaching 19 minutes in this last quarter on the Dave Benson Caravan time clock. Crawshay again, a left-handed tap, a chance for Ford, but it comes down here to Merton, but once again goes to the safety of the boundary line, and over it goes for another throw-in right in front of the 5 RPH commentary position. And just at the moment, the crowd right behind the Panthers. There's definitely more South supporters down here than Doggy supporters. And just at the moment, the Panthers are hanging on, 107-79 as the boundary umpire about to put the ball back into play. Crawshay and Arnold. Crawshay from behind, the ball thumped down by Dowdy. Mills has played a great second last half as he goes underneath the pack. Oh, he's met heavily. Get that ball out. The umpire will ping you. But the umpire says no, we'll have a bounce down at left half forward or grandstand side of the Noarlunga Oval.
There's a few Bulldog supporters here too, and you've got to take your hat off to them because it's a fairly long trek from Elizabeth to Noarlunga. So good to see him here.
Crawshay up against Arnold this time. Comes out to the player there for South Adelaide in Doherty. He gets a hurried kick, but it's
goodness me.
A free kick.
No, that wasn't.
Never touched him.
No, Costa played it superbly.
Yeah, never touched him.
No, never touched him.
Well, comes back inside to Lilico. There's a bit of off the ball going on between Mills and a Central Districts player. We won't mention the name, but it comes out to Hanlon. He can't take it. Steed there has been tackled. It comes out to Holm. Can he do anything with it? Gets it back quickly over to Muller's got the... No, Arnold is. He chips in over the top to McArdle, and McArdle's taken a mark right in the goal square, 2 metres out. He's already kicked one goal. But, gee whiz, one senses it might be all too late as McArdle... now, why would the umpire call that back? I am absolutely dumbfounded.
This is where it's technical. He's called time off, so he's got to make
well,
sure
there's no question of that, but, I mean, what's the point?
James Gowan back on the ground has been involved in some important touches for the Bulldogs, so they really have missed him through that third quarter, but he's made some impressive moves in this last term.
McArdle lining up for his second goal. Kicking it to right from in the goal square, should have no troubles in putting it through, and does just that. Take two, says the umpire. So Central Districts now go to 12 goals 13. That's 85. They trail South Adelaide 17 goals 5, 107. And we've played, that's on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, and we've played 21 minutes courtesy of Dave Benson Caravans.
25 scoring shots for the Doggies, 22 for South Adelaide, but Centrals are 21 points in arrears. Certainly effectiveness from South Adelaide's point of view this afternoon, boys. They've been terrific, having 17 shots, it was 22 shots of goal kicking, 17-5.
DB Crawshay, hasn't he played an absolute belter of a game?
Magnificent game. We've got a bit of time because the ball's down at Victor Harbour somewhere, and just a little lad coming, appearing over the hill now with the football. But, gee whiz, fellas, 22 points to lead. We're approaching the 22-minute mark of this final quarter. I'd say there's a good 10 minutes to go, so it's not all over yet.
Undies is getting very nervous.
No, all over, bar the shouting. All over, bar the shouting. They are 22 minutes gone. It's
given the fact also, guys, that Centrals have only added 4 goals, and South Adelaide have only added 1.
Yeah, they've got to kick 4 goals in the space of 10 minutes or so. Big ask with them tired legs, DB.
Yes, well, that's a good point, the tired legs. I didn't take that into consideration, but one man who hasn't got tired legs is Ronnie Bettridge, because he's going to bounce the ball in the centre down and goes an absolute shocker. He has got tired legs. As the ball comes to Morgan, he gives it to Hassel. On the right boot it goes up towards the centre of the ground. Up they fly. In front there was Lilico. It's beautifully taken by Costa. The big bloke, Crawshay, spins out of a tackle like a ballet dancer and bangs it up towards half forward in front. It's a good mark, and Brogan certainly presented himself today for the Panthers. He's got the ball at half forward right on the outer side. Brogan will chip the ball back into Crawshay. If he's not BOG, well, I'll go he for chasing.
How many times have we seen Brogan take a mark and then chip it back to Crawshay?
Yeah, the old 1-2.
Yeah, the two big blokes working together, just knocking up touches.
Very well, aren't they?
Knock up the stats.
You'll probably be seeing him in the corner of the bar somewhere tonight, so telling each other about it.
Okay, now Crawshay bangs it up in towards the pocket, looking there for Brogan.
There we go.
You got it. The old 2-1 this time.
This is a Lloyd show, isn't it?
And Brogan will kick the goal inside, just inside 50, right up in the pocket on the outer side.
They could get very sozzled if they buy a beer for each kick they've given each other. They could have a big night, the two boys.
Yeah, they certainly can. Brogan going to kick from around about 45, 50 metres, DB. It's going to be a long, hard kick. His kicking isn't probably the best part of his game, though.
No, and the breeze, fellas, just looking at that wind socket, it's probably just died down, so he'll probably lob this in the square, I'd say.
Well, the temperature certainly hasn't risen.
No, well, Brogan coming in will kick right on 50. He gives it a big hoik, goes up to the goal square. Over the back up there is the big fella from South in Draper, and off the ground it goes through for a minor score. That's their 6 points, 17 goals, 6, 108. That's South Adelaide. If you're a Panther supporter, you can just about start celebrating, one would suggest. Central Districts, 12 goals, 13, 85. It's a 23-point ball game.
Right, the ball has been kicked down, and I've lost it. There it is, centre wing as it comes up towards centre-half forward. Keenan Ford in front takes the mark. He's got to get the ball on in a hurry. He's in the centre of the ground for the Doggies and bangs along, drop punt up towards full forward. Players will set themselves at the back of the pack. Chance now for Merton. He can't do anything. Comes to Johnson. He throws the ball away. Bellow off the ground. No, the ball back in the nets of players. Who's got it? McArdle spins out. A right footer. McArdle's put it through. It's never over till the fat lady gets up on that stage and starts using her vocal cords, I can tell you, boys. Third goal there to McArdle, is it?
Yep, third goal.
Third goal to McArdle as the Dogs move along now to 13-13, 91, South Adelaide 17-6, 108 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Corey, interesting that a couple of the misses that Centrals have had, South Adelaide kicked very straight. 26 scoring shots to 24 at this stage.
Yeah, those early scoring shots will hurt them. It happened to South last week. They learned from that and they've kicked very accurately today. But Centrals have been a little bit Australian. That could, at the end of the day, hurt them there.
Well, we've certainly got a ball game here. 5 RPH football, courtesy of Good, Better, Bosch, Trade Link Plumbing and Cattle Crash Repairs, Michelle's Patisserie and the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
5 minutes to go, boys.
Okay, it comes out to South Adelaide again. This time the player there for South Adelaide taking the ball was Doughty, and he's been gang tackled by about 3 Centrals players. The umpire has no other option but to come in and bounce the ball. Right smack bang in the centre. There's about 15, 16 players around the ball there. Arnold in front. Crawshay again with another tap. I'd like to see, and again another tap, but this time it goes straight to Stevens for Centrals. He gets a high kick up to centre forward. Ellen's back there for the South Adelaide side and does it very well to spoil the ball. Johnson gets a handball out to a teammate running past him, Nathan Turvey. He backs up, paddles around, turns around and gets a kick smothered in front there for South Adelaide. This time was Christopher Hall. He pushes the ball towards the boundary line and does it very, very cleverly as Kim Costa comes in and just sees the ball go over the boundary line. Centre wing, grandstand side. The Panthers lead by 17 points. The chant goes up for the Panthers. The boundary umpire throw the ball back in. Right on the centre wing, in comes Brogan, is it this time? He does up against the big fella in Muller. He gets the ball back to Lillico. Lillico with a hurried kick, finds and falls in the arms of Graham. Comes up to half forward in front there, not taking the mark. Ellen, a Pilson mark, he dodges too. Does it very, very well, shows some class. Well done, Jerry. Comes out this side looking for Brogan. Over the back there is Lillico, falls to a nest of South Adelaide players. He gives it over to Hassel. Hassel with the speed, has a bounce. Still has another bounce. That's 2 bounces running towards the centre of the ground. 3 bounces. Comes back inboard looking for Mills. A bad handball. Mills, though, does pick it up. Here they go here. It comes over to the player there for South is Hall. Turns around on the left foot. Good smother, though. Falls back in the arms of Hall. Pushes off from Mills. Can't pick it up. Holm, the captain, does it. Gets tackled very well. Sockers off the ground, though, for South Adelaide. Going straight to the boundary line is Mark DeMacy and showing good skills there. Socking off to the boundary line and taking it out of bounds. 27 minutes gone, last quarter.
What about the desperation from both sides there? That was fantastic.
Yes, certainly everything and flying, isn't it? There was the opportunity by Hassel to get a ball forward, but just the desperation by the doggies wrapped it up. There's been some great footy. 17-point ball game.
Muller up against Brogan. Brogan works his way to the front. He's been very good too. He's been tackled this time by Muller. Can't get the handball out. You would hope that you would think that South Adelaide would jump on it. Morgan does get it out though. This time it falls in the arms of the doggies player. He hooks it back and there's the player again for South Adelaide jumping in. Dean Towers done very well. Comes out this time looking for and finding Nathan Turvey. Yeah, grandstand side wing.
Yeah, Turvey with the ball at half-back. You'd say they've got it won now. The large lady sat down on the stage as the ball's kicked up towards centre wing. Good strong mark there taken for the Panthers as Bello came in and the player onto the ground is Webb.
And we'll go back to Undies and Corey straight after the game to get the 3-2-1 votes, the cattle crash mark of the day as well.
Yeah, now Webb with the ball and just come onto the ground, I think, as he bangs a left footer up towards half forward. Up they fly to South Adelaide mark in the back. And Brogan has got it a long way out from goal. He's at centre wing, but a very important mark. 17 points up, the Panthers. Brogan's got Turvey loose at centre wing, or just further on from centre wing, but he's taking plenty of time, so experience coming here from a basketball point of view as far as Dean Brogan is concerned. He's going to go long with a drop punt and put it right up towards full forward. The big pack of players will fly. No offhand, a chance here for Central District. Slate threw it out there to Hicks. Hicks on the left boot. May have been Hopwood back into the centre. It's all the doggies here taken by James Gown. He'll bang the ball down to Daniel Stevens in the centre. He'll go over the top. No, he doesn't take the ball. And desperation by South Adelaide. They pounce on the football in the centre. The handball comes out to Talbot. He goes away with the left footer up towards centre half forward and a good mark at the back to Hopwood. Hopwood over the back, and the handball back out now. Comes to Hicks, who throws it on the right boot up towards centre wing. Turvey at the back, and no, Webb comes in and takes the mark over the top. He's got a Guernsey loose up towards centre wing. It's Brogan again, and Brogan takes the mark. He's got Hall going past, but once again Brogan will slow the footy down, and he'll go back and bomb it up towards half forward for the Panthers. So almost 30 minutes have gone in the last quarter, and once again Undies is right. It's all over Red Rover as Brogan bangs the ball up towards half forward. Up they fly. The ball pumped away there from Crawshay over the boundary line. 17-6-108. The Panthers, the Doggies, 13-13-91.
We've got 1 minute to go.
Minute to go, DB. You know who he kicked it to? He kicked to that man, Crawshay.
Certainly did.
Well, they will be sharing the sherbets tonight, one would suggest. Crawshay up against the big fella in Muller, makes his way to the front of the pack this time. He has played an absolute belter of a game as Crawshay. Comes out to Morgan. He can't take it. Central District's pushing the ball forward this time. It comes out to Davey. Davey gets a handball over to Lillico. Lillico can't take it. And again, the player that's just come on the ground for South Adelaide in Webb has done very well. Gets it over to Mills. Mills looking up forward and finding big Draper. He's done very well. Good mark in front. Good hands to Draper. And as we said, it's about a minute to go. There's probably about 40 seconds to go. Now the siren might go, one would suggest, as he's going back to have a shot at goal. 50 metres out, he certainly won't make the distance. And Mills has played an absolute integral part in this last quarter, has been outstanding for South Adelaide. The umpire blows time on as Draper wipes his hands.
You're trying to get Mills in the votes for the A.
Oh, he's played well. He has played very, very well. This time, the Draper comes back in board and finds... Look, you guys must agree with me. This guy does look like Jerry Seinfeld.
No. Well, it's starting to grow on us.
No.
But no.
Well, okay. He looks a lot like Jerry Seinfeld to me. Comes back in board, though. That's the fella there we're talking about in Allen. Gets it over to Hall. Just wasting time now, South Adelaide. As we said, there was only a minute to go, about 60 seconds ago. Goes back in board again, does Hall. And there's the siren, and South Adelaide have run out victors here at the Noarlunga Oval. 17 goals, 108 over Central Districts, 13 goals, 13. And a good mate of mine, Steve Fuzzy Constable, wouldn't be too happy. A one-eyed Central District supporter. Goal scorers will come back and give you those in just a moment. We'll go back to the studio, get scores.